Alrighty folks, we are back and we're playing a bit more Echo. Jenna, of course, is the wonderful Rowan.
Hello.
Alright, well, as ever, what is Rowan? What is Rowan? What is Echo, Rowan?
What is Rowan?
What is
Rowan?
Rowan?
Is they them. Echo is a furry visual novel dating simulator, gay edition, except not really. Really about the gay, but not really about the dating simulator part, because it takes that formula, launches it out of a fucking window, and then goes right into horror territory. And not in the shitty Doki Doki Literature Club kind of way. We have no meta-narrative game breaks here, no siree, just the internalized homophobia demons, and abuse, and suicide, child murder, more abuse, drugs, everything is on the fucking table with this game. And pain, much pain. Today we're trying to get Jenna's bad ending.
Mm-hmm. So what's the story so far?
Story so far is Chase and Otter has come back to his hometown of Echo. He's meeting up with his old friends he grew up with there, 3 of which had come back with him and 3 of which are still in the town. They all meet up by the river and trying to get some footage where, of the river and the lake, but it's near the lake, so that's where Sydney died, their other childhood friend. Flynn goes off on one, calls everyone out on a very personal level, at which point we pick who we want to romance, after a huge screaming argument. That's a normal thing for a video game to do. We then picked Jenna and proceeded to hang out with the only lady in the group for a little bit. I love this route because it makes all the heterosexual parts of the relationship completely optional, and you can just friendship her to not scare away gay men. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is a queer space. You get assaulted by Leo in Freddy Fazbear's. Carl's gone missing. Carl has been kidnapped this time. So we're trying to find Carl, looking around for him. Jenna really hates the town alongside you, so let's bond over that, shall we?
So I had a very quick look online, and I have been told from looking online that the split point that we didn't take to get to the sort of bad ending is in fact choosing this option right here. Yeah. Because last time we chose one of these two, I can't remember which one, but that apparently locks the good ending, and this option apparently locks the bad ending. So we're going to take it from here, and we're going to see how we get on. So this town breaks people, because it fucking does. I know what you mean. I've kind of always had this feeling that there's something about this town that sucks all hope out of people. And I mean, you can point to the environment, the drugs, the history, even just the sheer desolation of it all. But whatever it is, it all adds up to churning out crazy old people and messed up kids.
Are you saying we got lucky, or just as sorry as the rest?
Not as bad, that's for sure. And I do think I kind of have you to thank for that in some part. My voice cracks and I try to cover it with a cough. It's smooth.
Thank you, Chase.
Jenna smiles lightly.
And I agree. It's why after this week I'm never coming back here. In fact, as soon as we find Carl, I'd prefer to leave.
I nod. That's fair. I guess I have to ask, what made you think of this? I mean, the story about your grandmother? Was it talking about tech stuff and the reservation? Jenna ponders this question for a moment, looking a bit more like her usual self. However, there's still a slight unnerved tinge to her, like her tail has an extra bit of bristle to it.
I suppose that's what got me talking about her. Though I started thinking about all this earlier.
Oh? Up ahead, the screen door on the side of Duke's house flings open. A familiar ash-coloured figure peers out, attention focused on us. What are you two doing?
Oh yeah, you were doing Duke.
I was doing Duke, and he was in the Liverpudlian accent, if I remember right.
Yeah, because it was Clint I was doing in the horrible Irish accent.
Yep.
Oh god.
I will say at this point, I do hope that there's a bit more variety in this one, and it's not just the exact same story beats all the way along till the end?
Yeah, I have no idea. I know the ending is very different, but I don't know about the rest of the story. I'll be honest, the one YouTube essay I talked about kind of brushed over Jenna's route a little bit. So, yeah, again, gay male furries. They're not going to talk about the only lady in the group in a lot of detail.
Alright. He calls out to us, having to shout since we're nearly 3 properties down. At Pueblo, I'd cringe at the idea of someone shouting at this late in a neighbourhood. However, most of these houses are long since abandoned. Jenna and I exchange a look before making our way closer to respond. The lanky weasel was certainly looking rougher around the edges than I remember, the old man taking slow steps into his overgrown front yard. Of course he's got a gun on him, his paw gingerly clutching it while the other brandishes a cigarette. Or at least I think it's a cigarette. "Real light for a stroll," he mumbles.
Duke, hi, good morning, it's Jenna.
"Is that Chase with you?" I hold up my paw and wave. "Hi." It is." Duke takes a grab from his fat cigarette and I see the embers fling around as he taps the end. In my mind I imagine all the little specks of fire catching and the untrimmed grass beneath, setting everything ablaze. "I knew it. That's what Leo's been saying is true. He was saying shit as well. Confronted him about it and he got a wild look in his eyes, pushed me into the dirt. But here you are in the flesh and talking this time." I give him a befuddled look. What's he talking about?
Well, Leo's going through a bit of a rough time, and that's certainly no excuse for the violence he's been opposing on you. However, we did see you at Carl's house, and you might have heard that he's gone missing.
Well, what good timing for your arrival then, Jasmine?
It's Jenna now, but that's besides the point.
His bloodshot eyes shift from me to her, and that makes me even more uneasy.
Have you seen Carl since last night?
Duke clicks his tongue, shaking his head more times than he really needs to. "I don't think you're investigating the Rod mystery here." Jenna raises an eyebrow. He points a swollen pink finger in my direction, still looking at Jenna. "The real question is, why has your friend here been snooping around houses for the past month?" "What?" Jenna furrows her brow, a light sigh escaping between her lips. "I don't know what..." I feel her hand discreetly reach over and squeeze my side.
Hold on, Chase.
She mutters, refocusing our attention back to the weasel.
Duke, please focus on me for a minute. Listen to the words I'm saying. Have you seen Carl since last night?
Duke hangs his maw open, rolling his jaw around from side to side. There's an audible click as it locks in place. "I don't think you're hearing me."
I heard you, Duke. Please, a yes or no answer, and then we can discuss what you saw about Chase.
Duke's bloodshot gaze flicks back to me and there's something expectant about the look in his eyes. Like he's waiting for me to say something revelatory. I have no clue what he's talking about though, and Jenna doesn't seem to want to give him an inch of leeway to change the topic of conversation. I see his teeth grit past his thin lips. Despite the intensity he's putting off, he looks kind of distracted, like we're only getting about 3/4 of his attention. "Maybe it wasn't quite you there, was it?" His voice is strained and quiet. The weasel scratches at his inner thigh. "I didn't see the round boy, or his little rich parents."
Okay, thank you. Chase?
"Oh, I only got here Saturday. I wasn't here before then. There's only really one other otter in town as far as I know, and he probably weighs 150 pounds more than me. So I don't really know who else it could be." Duke just glares in response to that, and I can't help but drift my gaze to the gun he's holding so idly in his grasp. But I think he notices as his fingers clench around the base a little tighter.
Okay, thank you, Duke. It's really good to see you again. If you have the time, keep an eye out for him, okay? We can't seem to track him down.
"He's right there." He points at me.
No, I'm referring to Carl.
"Carl's not here."
Right, we're going to look around some more and knock on a few doors once the sun's up. You take care, alright?
Before I can get so much as raise my paw in farewell, Jenna's already turned around and making her way down the street. Again, I have to hustle to catch up. After another half hour or so of searching, we end up back at Carl's place. After the whole interview with Duke, she starts ranting about the meth use and its physiological effects. Admittedly, I wasn't. I was only picking up bits and pieces of what she was saying. Apparently, the drug stimulates part of the brain that creates urges for tinkering, which is why yards of meth houses often look like scrapyards or extended use. Poor Duke. Although the guy's always kind of skeeved me out, even back when we were kids. I think he used to have a wife at some point who I remember being really nice. She used to ride her bike around town all the time. One day she stopped by to help me set up a root beer float stand. Then one day she just kind of disappeared. Hell, I think I was playing at Leo's house when the cops came to the door and asked if Leo's parents had seen her. Jenna uses her newly acquired spare house key and lets us in. I'd spent so much time in Carl's house growing up that stepping inside always felt kind of like coming home. Carl's parents were never as friendly as Leo's or TJ's, but they were often just straight up absent, which means we got the run of the place. I glanced off to the side and noticed a divot in the wall panelling next to the door. Carl slammed his head there when we were roughhousing 6 or 7 years ago. So I wonder we didn't do more damage. Jenna nudges me with her shoulder and I shift my attention back to her.
Hey, I'm going to put something on in the living room. I've been mainly camped up on the couch with my laptop while you guys were out earlier, trying to get some studying done. Despite the quiet, it's actually a little difficult to focus with all this going on.
So you want to watch some TV?
Well, sure, I got something in mind.
She smiles at me, turning tail to head down the hall. I follow suit briefly, considering raiding the cupboards for snacks, but that kind of feels out of line considering the circumstances. Fiona turned the air conditioning off last night, so we got the ceiling fan going overhead. It's doing a pretty good job at keeping me cool, the blades spinning so fast they almost look still. When I was a kid, I was almost afraid of having the fan on high setting. The thing would just start to wobble and click, and I thought at any moment it would spin off and its socket and come careening down towards me. This one Carl has looks extremely sturdy though. It kind of looks like it's made of some sort of brushed copper, turquoise painted metal base. It's at this point I realise I'm not doing a good job of focusing on the anime Jenna put on. I glance over her to see if she's noticing my wandering gaze, but I see that her eyes are closed. At first I think she's asleep, though they begin to flutter open after some time. She rolls her head some in my direction, catching my gawking. She smiles lightly, stretching her arms out over her head and letting out a long yawn. What? Put on my best innocent face. Just checking to see if she was riveted by the ongoing developments of Mr. Wong's fledgling dim sum business. An amused noise escapes between her lips, her left ear twitching some as she stares at the screen with half-fuddled eyes.
Have the magical demon girls shown up yet?
The magical demon what? I thought this was a nice little, what do they call it, slice of life thing?
Well, I suppose it's how they get you.
She hums her words, her tone sleepy and warm.
They lull you into something calm, low pressure, giving you a chance to really live the setting before they pull the rug out from under you.
Jenna's tone is infectious, but even when I start to speak with a sort of rumbling, only half-serious whine. Do they all have to be like that? I mean, what if we just want a quiet, slow burn kind of show? It seems like all of them these days have fantastical bullshit that comes out of nowhere. On screen, the character Mr. Wong, a returned red panda, is cooking a batch of fried rice in a large wok. It's also lovingly animated for something so mundane. You can practically see each individual piece of egg, pepper and seasoning he sprinkles on top.
Chase, there are plenty of slow burn shows out there. And how would you even know? You tell me you don't even keep up with this stuff anymore.
I mean, I occasionally put on an anime when I'm bored back at Pueblo.
Oh yeah?
Well, I guess hanging out with you has made me kind of interested again. Jenna smiles again. I can see the little tips of her tiny fangs. She sits in her seat, scooting from the side of her sofa to mine. Her arms wrap around my torso, squeezing me some. Without really thinking, I rest my head against hers and exhale for what seems like ages. I can feel butterflies in my stomach somewhere deep down, the light prickle of goosebumps along my neck. It's so intimate, so beyond the boundaries of closeness that Jenna and I have shared in the past. But it's comfortable, no judgment or pressure. Just two people on the same wavelength, both very tired, stressed out, and kind of slap happy. I watch her chest rise and fall against mine, her fur so much softer than mine. It's like running your paws through goose down. I slide my fingers along her shoulder and down her arm and back up again. Is this just platonic? Like one of those cuddle girl slumber party kind of things? We never did any of this when we were younger though. The closest thing I can think of was when we shared an air mattress when we went camping for my 16th birthday. Leo having been out of town at the time, of course.
You're very cute, Chase.
The words take me by surprise. The compliment's so blatant, it's not something I've been told in years. It feels like a minute passes before I feel her weight shift beside me. She looks up at me and I look back down at her. Next thing I know, her mouth is pressed against mine. My heart skips in my chest as there's definitely some tightness in my shorts. Her muzzle is small and my tongue easily fills the inside once she opens her lips. We continue for some time, the noise from the TV seeming to fade in the background. This unimportant mumbling drowned out by our pounding heartbeats and the whir of spinning fan above. It isn't until the episode ends and we're left in actual silence that Jenna seems to pause. She pulls back, eyes on my chest, and her expression indiscernible in the darkness.
I'm a little concerned about moving forward with this. I've seen how these sorts of things can destroy friendships, and the one I have with you, I truly value. I'm worried we'll look at ourselves in the morning, well, in a couple of hours, and be disappointed with ourselves.
Wait, I stopped for a second, frowning. Are you saying you don't want to, at least in part because you think I'm going to be bad at it? Jenna doesn't immediately respond. Oh no. I've done it plenty of times. Oh Christ. My voice comes a little louder than expected and Jenna pushes her paw to my mouth, hushing me. I pull her away, repeating myself, but this time more quietly. I'm not bad at sex. I can feel my cheeks burning at this point. Jenna's increasingly amused expression not helping at all.
Chase, oh my god.
Jenna's shoulders shake as she titters, clearly tickled by how flustered I'm getting. I'm serious.
I can see that. It's not exactly what I was getting at, but I am well aware that you and Leo snuck off every chance you got when we were younger. But as you may possibly know, there are several slight differences in anatomy between Leo and I.
I continue to frown at her as hard as I can.
Okay, don't give me that look. Now I actually do feel bad.
I grunt quietly. Well, how many guys have you been with? You got to ask me earlier at the diner, so it's only fair, right? In the first year of college, I pretty much lost complete contact with Jenna's social circle. Initially, it was because Carl never wanted to go out, and he just mainly hung around in our dorm. But by the time Carl dropped out, it was like all our social links had been severed. I'd look at the pictures she'd post in the timeline, I wouldn't recognise anyone she was friends with. Such a contrast seeing her at all these fancy events, wearing formal dresses and receiving awards. For a while I thought she'd changed, transformed her college life into intellectual peers that she surrounded herself with. But talking to her again this week I've come to realise it's not the case at all. She was always that person, it was just everyone else that brought her down to our level, I guess.
Been with?
She leans back some, perking an eyebrow and putting on a professional visage. Though she's still got a mirth-laden look in her eyes.
Are you asking about dating or sex?
Both, I guess.
Oh, well, about the same then. 6 or 7.
6.5?
Let's just say 6.
What happened with number 7? She lets an amused noise that seems to think for a moment as she strokes her chin.
Oh, it was nothing too serious. Just this guy who worked at the gym I went to. I believe he was a draft horse.
My mouth goes a little dry. A draft horse?
Mm-hmm.
She smiles slightly.
He was really sweet and muscles were nice. Usually I don't like being picked up, but it was definitely interesting, with him being nearly 7 feet tall.
I stare blankly at her, eyes wide. She continues to smile at me, though the corner of her mouth twitches and she brings her paw up to cover her muzzle.
Chase, I'm messing with you.
Jenna. I scowl. Wait, is that really your type? I thought you'd be more into twiggy anime boys.
I'll have you know my manga and anime interests do not control my love life. I like people primarily based on their personality.
Oh, I'm fucked then. Jenna chuckles at that. She reaches out and takes my paw, giving it a firm squeeze for patting my cheek. Though it feels nice, I'm still not sure how to take all of this.
I'm sorry for messing with you.
Her voice is clear and soft. She punctuates the end of her sentence with a kiss on the tip of my nose.
I'm admittedly a little nervous myself. Crossing new thresholds like this can be a little nerve-wracking. But make no mistake, I do want this.
Let that settle for a moment before reaching up, taking a hold of each of her wrists. Wait, are you serious? She nods happily.
If you're okay with it, of course.
Really? You and me? She nods again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boyfriend and girlfriend? The thought entered my head before I speak it, and I have just enough time to close my mouth before it's uttered. She looks at me curiously. Just shut up and say yes. Yeah, I'm down with this. Yeah. Yo. You guys been having fun? I glanced down at Jenna, her legs still entwined in my own. I quickly try and untangle us, scooting to the side of the couch while yanking at my shorts. She's got a firm grip on my tail for some reason. I have to grit my teeth to keep from yelping as it tugs. Groggily, I begin to see her turquoise eyes flutter open, blinking at her surroundings and me, then the sound coming from the entrance hall.
Ugh.
She rubs her face, trying to shake off the sleep fatigue.
What do you say?
There's some clattering noises from the kitchen coming from... oh yeah, this is the clattering noise from the kitchen coming from the kitchen. Like the rustling plastic bags and the clacking of Tupperware. Did he not see us? Thank fuck he's a lizard.
Double kitchen.
Double kitchen. Kitchenception. Thank fuck he's a lizard and can't smell us at least.
What do you mean? Lizards have brilliant senses of smell. Like, you do know Komodo dragons can track a ninja piece of prey across the entire fucking island of Komodo? Lizards have great senses of smell.
No, according to this game, apparently. Or maybe just according to Chase, which is very very likely.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fuckwit, to be honest.
I asked if you fuckers have been having fun. It's midday.
Flynn, you got a text. We were up late last night searching for Carl.
Yeah, and making yourselves at home here. What you got on over there? Hentai? I check the TV. It's frozen on a guide menu screen grabber, frantic anime girl, holding way more bowls of soup than is ordinarily considered reasonable. Jenna yawns into her paw quietly, pulling up a black pair of panties around her thigh, followed by her trademark jean shorts. She's so lackadaisy about it that she doesn't even care if she's caught. Her expression is distracted, but not by Flynn or me, though she does manage a quick smile in my direction when she does focus her gaze my way. I return the smile, albeit lopsidedly, having my face still half my face still feels tingly and asleep. So we're dead fucking certain that Duke doesn't know shit then. God damn it. Hear the heavy footfalls of the Gilla leave the kitchen. Yeah, Gilla leave the kitchen, making his way around to us. He's holding 4 small plastic containers. He gives 2 to each of us, setting them down on the coffee table. The insides are fogged up with condensation or steam. I can't tell exactly what they contain. It looks green, I guess. Flynn sees me gawking and lets an exasperated puff of air through his flared nostrils. The top containers got Caesar salad, the bottom one fresh cooked bluegill. Bluegill? Yeah. Bluegill? I blink at the steamy container. You catch it yourself? Yeah. He perks a brow ridge. And you cooked it just for us? The line of question seems to give the gill a pause as he needs to make sure he phrases his next words carefully. Jenna smirks in my direction before blowing her nose into her tissue. Usually I drop some for Carl. He folds his arms over his chest. You know, to make sure he doesn't go full-on diabetic coma as after he's packed with pizza and energy drinks.
That's very thoughtful of you, Flynn.
Yeah, thanks, man. I give him a thumbs up to which he just shakes his head. Whatever. Anywhere from the sheriff's office? Jenna reaches into her shorts and grabs her phone. She taps at it for a few moments before shaking her head.
Nothing since yesterday. The person I spoke with at the office said they'd reach out to me with any questions or updates they had. God fucking useless. They're so goddamn overstaffed there anyway. How hard can it be to focus on one fat-ass rich kid in the middle of vast fucking nowhere? Apparently rather difficult.
Just waiting for Carl's parents to post the reward money or some shit.
I don't think public entries get to claim those sort of things.
Flynn scowls at Jenna for a good 4 seconds before turning away, walking to the grand living room window before peering out in the backyard. Well, yeah, I fucking know that. It just don't make a lick of sense. No food, cars, cell phone, missing, nothing valuable stolen, no break-in indications, besides these scuff marks you made on the way in.
Flynn, if I hadn't gone through the window, Leah would have eventually shoulder rammed the front door down.
Flynn folds his arms behind his back, clenching his eyes shut. Yeah. God, what a fucking crazy ass. At least his desperate party attempts helps us figure out Carl was missing earlier. Jenna pushes herself to her feet, walking over to beside Flynn. She folds her arms over her chest.
So, we briefly skimmed this over yesterday, but with regards to Carl's mental state leading up to all this...
Flynn ever so slightly shifts his head in the Phoenix direction, their size difference stark as they stand silhouetted in front of the window.
Is there anything you can think of that would help us out here?
Anything to cause Carl to say fuck it and run into the desert without any belongings, you mean?
Yeah.
Jenna answers that flatly. He's been depressed as hell, but that's how he's been ever since he dropped out of college. All that digital art shit he used to do, he hasn't done much of that either lately. Whenever I check my phone or computer, he's always online, just sending me memes and shit all day. Despite my efforts, there ain't much the line of indication he's been planning on changing that routine anytime soon.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She sounds genuine in that regard, letting out a quiet sigh. Ain't nothing you can do about it from fancy college land. I finally get my ass off the couch, certainly hoping that I hadn't left the surface all oily. I think he's been getting high more. Says it chills him out, helps with the nightmares and shit. Nightmares? Flynn nods. Yeah, I've been going off on how his house is haunted. Says things are getting weird whenever he goes to bed. Weird how? Flynn is starting to look increasingly exasperated at my continued prodding. It's evident he wants to shift focus back to the search effort. Fuck, Chase, I don't know. Bumps in the night, crazy children whispers, distant laughing, that sort of thing. Said he only heard them when he was about to fall asleep and when waking up, so he could never investigate.
Interesting.
Really?
You said he's getting high was how he coped with this newfound paranoia?
I let him sleep over once and the whole room smelled like skunk weed for a fucking week.
He slept over because he was afraid to be here, in this house?
No, he stayed over because I was plowing his ass. His tone is laden with sarcasm, and even I find myself snickering at that bit of shock. Snickering a bit at the shock. Jenna doesn't laugh though, meeting Finn's gaze with an indiscernible expression. The gilla clears his throat, scratching at his stomach. Yeah, he was afraid to be here. I know enough about Carl's family to know that his house was seriously old. His great something or other is the town founder after all. The place has been seriously modernised into a more stucco adobe style, but there's some definite history underneath all this. Growing up, Carl started to think there were ghosts in the house and it freaked him out pretty badly. So much so his parents basically begged me to have sleepovers with him during the weekends and even some weekdays. Not that I minded, of course. Carl had all the video game consoles that were out and his parents brought him M-rated games. I got to stay up late with his giant TV blowing up aliens and running over hookers. I remember he started to become less afraid as time went on and his parents stopped asking me to come over as much. So of course, shitbag younger me told Carl a bunch of stories about a ghost bride whom I saw standing outside his house at midnight. And that's how I got to spend my whole 5th grade summer vacation at Carl's place. The fact that Carl is still freaked out by this sort of thing is pretty concerning.
Well, to be quite fair, if I had the mindset that my house is haunted and saw whatever was on my phone out of my window...
She pauses, shaking her head.
I'd probably be rather freaked out as well.
Yeah, but would you run outside? That doesn't make any sense. You'd think this place would be more ransacked if it was like a fucking kidnapping or something. You don't try and kidnap a fucking ram without getting some serious dents and scratches in the drywall. The idea of Carl being assaulted like that is starting to give me a serious pit in the bottom of my stomach.
Well, you did find some scattered plaster dust and marks on the wall near the basement crawl space.
Yeah, maybe it could have been like an initial scuffle down there and he was held at like gunpoint or something. There's a look of sudden shock on at the direness of my words that flashes across Flynn's face. Anxiety, fear, concern, all expressions seldom seen on a lizard. He quickly stifles them, adopting his usual disgruntled demeanour, emitting forth a familiar grunt in response.
Guys, I think we're escalating here. No offense to you, Chase, but I think I might want to have a chat with Jeremy myself. You can come along, of course. Same to you, Flynn.
Despite Jenna's assurance of non-offence, I can't help but feel a little shirty about not pressing harder for information while I was there. I mean, fuck, I want to be a journalist, right? I can't be getting intimidated by childhood bullies. Flynn nods, but only slightly. Yeah, but Chase said he told him the drugs he sold weren't laced.
Laced drugs wouldn't result in that image on the phone.
Shit, I haven't talked to that flunk ass in so fucking long.
You were always a bit too old to get the brunt of his sadistic side when we were growing up.
Thought that was mainly Clint.
They all rubbed off on each other easily enough.
Flynn pulls out his phone, a rather dated first-gen thing looking from the late 2000s. He pecks at it with large fingers, walking off towards the foyer. Gonna text TJ and Pitbull Smasher that we're together and asking around.
No need to be more specific than that.
Trust me, I wasn't about to tell him where we were heading till we're done.
Poor TJ. I'll make sure to text him to make sure he's okay.
We start to head out as well. We start to head out as well when he suddenly calls out back to us. Oh, and bring your goddamn lunch. It took me for fucking ever to put that together. Are you nervous? I asked, trying to break the silence. Flynn takes his eyes off the road long enough to peer back at me through the rearview mirror, then glances over at Jenna. She's riding shotgun, quitting her fishy Tupperware on her lap so it doesn't spill.
I already told you I wouldn't mind seeing Jeremy again.
Well, what about you, Flynn? Why are you asking me? They weren't my bullies. I'm not sure if that's exactly true. I have distinct memories of the Tetanus Alley crew calling him all sorts of slurs back in the day. Hell, they even started rumour he was some kind of sadomasochistic gay rapist. Said rumour somehow wormed his way out of Echo to our high school. I remember there was this whole thing where he got called in the counsellor's office about it. He proceeded to call the counsellor a wretched, gashed cunt and got 1 week suspension. It wasn't ever clear if any of that shit stuck. He certainly never cried about it like TJ did. Sounds more like you're the one with the issues. I frown. I'm gonna spill bluegill over your seats. You'll be scrubbing the upholstery with my foot up your ass if you even open the goddamn lid in my truck.
Chase already spoke with them. You said you only saw Jeremy, Heather, and Mika, right?
Jenna looks back at me and I nod. Mika, heard he was back in town. Heard he was back in town a while ago. Never expected he'd turn up again after, 7 years?
Have you gone by to say hello?
There's a hint of teasing in her voice, responding to the Gilla's latent disdain for the kid as evidence in his tone. He stole my fucking dirt bike.
He stole your fucking dirt bike 8 years ago.
Well, he was still kind of shithead when I visited yesterday. Yeah? See the back of Flynn's scaly head, cant curiously. What'd he do? Well, he didn't do anything to me, I guess. Just seemed like he hated my guts. I tried calling him out on his shit and he wasn't having any of it. He call you a faggot? Of course. He smirks into the rearview mirror at me.
I'm glad to see this is also amusing to you.
I'm allowed to think whatever the fuck I want is amusing. Are you going to ask for your dirt bike back? I ask half jokingly, half trying to break the tension. I did get it back, remember? Little shit dented the fuck out of it and put these weird ass punk band stickers all over the body, but I got it back. Literally had to go to his house and talk to his parents to get it back. Should have pressed charges. Which house was it again?
It was the yellow sucker one on the end of Jasmine. One of the older buildings they constructed back during World War II. His and mine were the only houses down there that weren't RVs or mobile homes. I believe it was condemned and demolished a couple years ago. Right, Flynn?
Flynn nods, turning off onto a dirt road. Oh yeah, the roof was caving in, the electrical was a fucking hazard, and the pipes were lead-based.
Lead-based? I thought they banned that, before then.
Major cities did. Technically it wasn't in the building code until the 80s. Jenna frowns to herself. Let's just focus on the missing ram, alright? We drive in silence for a while until we see the smoke rising up from behind the older trailers. The hell's going on? Flynn pulls over. The distinct smoky smell of burnt mesquite pods wafts through the air. It's actually kind of pleasant. Flynn takes out his cell phone, stepping out of the truck and hustling his way over to the source of the smoke. Jenna and I exchange quick looks for following in his wake. The aroma grows stronger as we round the abandoned trailer and make our way to the outcropping overlooking the rest of the area. There's even a slight apple-like smell mixed in. As we round the bend, I can see a few lawn chairs spread out amongst the crackling bonfire. Some of the chairs have faded Prince's paint designs, while others are a more traditional camping variety. Next to them is a fluorescent orange cooler and a portable grill-looking thing that looks kind of like a toaster oven. Don't think they got the permits for this.
Oh, hi!
A high-pitched voice comes from behind. The next thing we know, there's a feline bounding up towards us. I see Jenna recoil, some the fennec lingering a bit behind the rest of us. Flynn meanwhile looks stone-faced, his hands in his pockets. Hello. I was here the other day. We have some more questions about Carl, if that's alright.
You were?
She stares at me for a long moment. Too long, actually. Flynn audibly sighs.
Oh, I know you. You're Leah's boyfriend, right? Ex-boyfriend.
Jenna chimes in, but seems to visibly regret it as Heather's attention swivels to her.
Oh my god, Jasmine, hi!
She rushes over to Jenna, wrapping her arms around her with a tight hug.
You look really good. Thanks.
Jenna doesn't correct her on the name change for some reason. Instead, she very gingerly pats Heather on the back for withdrawing back a foot.
I didn't shower this morning, so it's a wonder, if true. Neither did I.
Astonishing. Where's Jeremy at?
Oh, hi, Flynn.
Oh. 1 second.
Ooh.
I pressed the button and it seemed to... Yeah, just let forward like 5. 1 second. Heather waves at him despite the gilly being literally only a couple of feet away. Flynn furrows his brow some and limply waves his hand once before stifling back in his pocket.
Yeah? Oh, I made a joke a while ago and he got really offended and walked off. It was so dumb.
Where'd he walk off to?
I don't know. Oh, let me get you guys a drink. We're having an Aho party.
Before anyone can say anything else, she turns heel and scampers off, her demeanour like an excited child. Once Burlow and I approach the obvious question. What's an Aho party? Jenna looks over at me and shrugs. Meanwhile, Flynn squints at the land around him, folding his arms across his chest and mumbling to himself. Whose property is this? I thought she lived with her dad and the one that works at the dam. Lizard sucks his tongue and quickly shakes his head, his question evidently rhetorical.
She does seem different, doesn't she?
Can you help me next door for a moment?
Yep, she was the cat did something.
Yeah, I think you had a hairball underneath the thing I can't reach.
Alright, okay, yeah, sure. I'll be back in 2 seconds, folks. Just need to go and clean up after Mr. Cat.
Naughty kitty.
Yep, I'll be back in 2 minutes, folks. Alrighty, folks, are back. We're gonna get to the end of this bit, and then we're gonna skip forward a little bit and see if... Because it is just beat for beat the same as the last one, so we're gonna just spin forward to the next choice and see if it wants to diversify anymore. So, but anyway, we'll do this bit first.
I wasn't expecting the compliments after, well, how she treated me before.
Next thing we know, the feeling is returning with 3 beers clutched to her chest.
Hurry, 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 take them, they're really cold and they're getting my shirt wet.
I blink and quickly step up to take one, kind of awkwardly sliding it between her forearm and cleavage. I'm not particularly hankering for a beer right now, admittedly, but I didn't exactly want to leave her hanging. After a moment of hesitation, Flynn and Jenna also take a beer.
You guys were sitting around the bonfire too.
I glance over the bonfire. It's a pretty small, only about 2 or 3 foot high. But anyone would want to hang around near a bonfire during a 90-degree springtime heat wave is beyond me.
Some of the chairs are kind of small though, since they're for little girls. They're not very good for big boys.
She looks up at Flynn, who stands nearly a foot and a half taller than her. The phrasing is so strange and her smiling gaze lingers way too long. What? I'm fine standing. Flynn shifts uncomfortably. She does know he's gay, right?
Yeah, I recognize them. Those are mine.
She points to the princess chair, specifically one with the print of the female cat in a blue dress and tiara surrounded by chirping woodland birds.
Or where? Oh wow! Do you want them back? No. Why not?
Jenna stares blankly at her. Hey, look, Heather, when was the last time you saw Carl?
Oh,
She scratches herself, looking off to the side.
I don't know. You should wait for Jet. He'd have an answer for you. In fact, I'll go and look for him for you.
Flynn steps up, his brow ridge furrowed. The simple goddamn question that I'm asking you, specific like. When was the last time you saw Carl? Heather reels back as Flynn's tones grows more stern, the cat clutching at her own arms.
I don't know.
You know who Carl is? You blew him in high school?
What? No, that was Tanya. Carl's gross.
As I recall, Heather briefly dated TJ, not Carl. It was a weird coupling with her being a couple of years older, though I guess I have no room to speak there. She was kind of mean to everyone, so I wasn't surprised that they were split. Ended up dating one of Leo's friends in the football team, if I remember right. Fucking whatever. Flynn waves off the correction. I remember taking an investigative journalism course freshman year that discussed interviewing techniques used by a police department. It included a big comprehensive list of tells where someone's lying or obfuscating the truth. The way Heather's acting fits the description of a lot of the aforementioned. Wait, Heather, you're like best friends with Jeremy. Heather still looks like she's about to bolt, but responds regardless.
He's cool, but what does that...
And he sells pot around here. Jenna looks over me, seemingly curious where I'm going with this.
Do you like me to plug? Because I don't get involved in any of that. I don't know anything.
I quickly shake my head. No, like, you're around him when he does that sort of thing. Were you there when he sold Carl last? She shifts her posture some, the cat scratching behind her ear, the whiskers bristle. Oh, sorry. She cuts herself off trying to think of the right words.
They don't want me talking about this sort of thing with other people. Especially you guys, since you hate us. I'm supposed to say that I don't know anything, but I do. I'm not stupid.
Her voice is raised now, she's clenching her fists against her stomach. Yeah, I get that, you know. It's totally to go. You're a fucking brainiac for sure.
Shut up!
She screeches at Flynn, the gilla covering his ear holes with a wince. Jesus fucking Christ. Just ignore him, okay? He just wants to find our friend, we're really worried. Her dilated pupils flick back and forth between the two of us. There's another long silence.
Like Keith?
That name again. It sounds familiar. I looked to Flynn and Jenna to see if it's ringing any bells with them. I'm not getting anything from Flynn, but Jenna found some.
Hopefully not like Keith. That's why we're here now.
Heather's shifting gaze meets Jenna's, holding there for a moment before refocusing to me.
I was eating apple smoked jerky with Jer when Carl texted that he needed some stuff. He did the deal, but nothing special happened, I don't think.
So nothing out of the ordinary? Heather thinks in silence for a while. Flynn, meanwhile, bites the cap of his beer and takes a swig.
Clint and Mika came by later and kept being really weird and pushy. Well, like, Clint was, and Mika just stole my jerky, but that's kind of how he usually is.
Pushy how about Carl?
I think so.
Wait, really? Flynn stops mid-drink, looking on anticipation following her statement.
Yeah. It was like about money stuff, which I don't pay any attention to. I don't really use money that much anymore. I'm like aesthetic.
Okay, but do you remember anything specific?
I think so. I was calling Mika out for the jerky thing, but he just kept ignoring me. Clint kept talking over me, and then I got mad at him and he started whispering to Mika. It was super rude, so I remember it really well. It's actually been like really hard to remember things lately.
Oh. That's about all I can think to respond with. As I look over, I see Jenna tapping away at her phone, typing something. She peers up only for a moment, just long enough to give me a soft smile and a nod. She was writing all this down. Flynn meanwhile is putting in active effort to keep his mouth shut. He's waiting on me expectantly to continue. Before I can follow up, Heather starts speaking again, this time to Jenna.
I don't really remember, like, why we didn't get along. Because the name Jasmine pops into my head and I'm like, oh, that bitch. But I saw you just now and it all seems so silly, doesn't it?
Jenna doesn't even seem to react to Heather at all at first. She shuts off the screen of her phone and exhales, looking Heather in the eye. She doesn't speak immediately and there's a soft, latent tension in the air.
Sorry, put my glasses back on, they needed cleaning. Yeah. Silly isn't exactly the word I'd use.
A dark look crosses Jenna's face, her tail stiff behind her.
Your behaviour throughout high school was utterly abhorrent towards me, and I think you know that.
Heather's face drops, the cat clutching her arm.
I told you my memory is bad, Jazz.
She puts on a kind of babyish voice. She says this, looking sheepishly at Jenna.
Do you honestly need a reminder?
Heather begins shaking her head, but Jenna's almost speaking. Oh, sorry, Jenna is already speaking her tone curt.
You were rude to me, even when I'd done nothing to you. But I figured you were just insecure and left it at that. Then one night you'd come to me when no one else turned to, tears in your eyes. You let me know everything that was going on with you at home. From that point forward, I was ready to defend you, to help you in any way I could. Short of going to the police, of course, because you begged me not to. It started out as little things, the favours. You were too emotionally distressed to do your homework, so I should do it. You couldn't come to class because of panic attacks and the teacher wouldn't understand, so I should lie for you. You needed money to see a friend in Peyton, so I should give you the money. You went on this went on for some time until eventually enough was enough. I had my own problems, especially at home, and I couldn't juggle the well-being of everyone. That is not my responsibility. I told you up front that I was going through a tough time and couldn't do these favors anymore, but I was always available to talk. That wasn't good enough though, was it? Despite being busy with your fractured home life and the stresses of school, you still found time to create your elaborate revenge. On the one person who cared enough to help. Next time I know, your latest boyfriend of the week and friends are pounding on my front door at 10 o'clock at night. And what does he tell Mum and Dad when they open the door?
She deepens her voice, putting on a Dudbro accent.
Yo, I'm looking for Jasmine. She told me to meet up here to get some. So not only did they convince my idiotic parents that I was fucking 5 guys, including your boyfriend, you told the whole school. I had my paw smashed in a locker, was fired from my part-time job, lost almost all my friends apart from a select few great people.
Jenna looks over, gesturing at both Flynn and my direction.
You made yourself the sufferer in that narrative, the one who mistakenly trusted the weird, horny anime girl.
Jenna takes in a sharp breath from her nostrils, her composure otherwise completely solid.
And you don't even have the dignity to atone for your actions when the chance is standing right in front of you. You continue to lie and manipulate your way through every social interaction to make yourself feel better. It's perpetuation of this endless cycle of perceiving yourself this eternal victim. When in reality, it's a complete delusion that hurts you and everyone around you.
With the way Jenna rattles off point after point regarding Heather's transgression, it's evident this is something that she's thought about greatly. Maybe even rehearsed. Heather stands there with this wide-eyed, slack-jawed look on her face. I can practically feel the burning of Heather's cheeks, the shock of Jenna's words setting in, her eyes beginning to moisten with tears.
Oh, and by the way, it's Jenna now, not Jasmine. No!
Heather moans slowly, like she's trying to refute what Jenna said but can't form the words. All she can do is make this bizarre whining noise.
You're wrong! You always have to be right, but you're really, really wrong!
Her eyes curl into fists, she shakes, undignified. Flynn and I look at each other. Before we can say anything further, she storms off. In the distance we can see her start running, her arms filling with a palsy-like limpness on her sides. I can't help but feel a sort of queasy sensation at the sight. This is what the place does to people. Jenna meanwhile just lets out a long sigh. Wow. World's worst fucking psychiatrist, Jesus H. You feel better now? Jenna looks over at Flynn.
Perhaps. It was cathartic.
So that was actually slightly different from the last time.
Yeah, like, I don't think she shouted at Heather before.
I think maybe this one, the same things will come out, but it might be slightly different tens. So there's actually some differences. So we'll carry on.
Like, you find it out the same way, but Jenna doesn't see Heather as redeemable. Like, excuse me, soft kitten, that is my pot full of yogurt, and you're not having it. That's my yogurt.
I didn't know about most of that. I just thought she was mean to you or something, like standard high school girl stuff. Must have been nice getting the chance to do that, huh? With some bitterness to Flynn's words. Probably ain't gonna help us find Carl, though.
It needed to be said.
Flynn grunts, shaking his head, some in disbelief. Right fucking now, though? Goddamn. Down the hill, away, a dusty shape of two figures can be seen emerging from an old shed. One of them pauses as he sees Heather sprinting off down the road, but the other ignores her and carries on. Eventually, the both of them see us and begin making their way in our direction. Well, here comes the gang. He spits in the ground, the faint smell of his venom wafting in the breeze for a moment. I'm guessing he bit that cap too hard.
Not all of them.
I quietly shimmy my way over to Jenna's side, lowering my voice some. Are you okay? Jenna seems slightly surprised at the question, giving me a light smile.
I'm good, Chase. Thank you for the concern.
After what happened, I'm not sure how much I buy that, but I'm not going to press the issue. So what did you come back with your posse to intimidate us or whatever? Jeremy's dull eyes are focused on me. I'm starting to feel increasingly intrusive standing next to the bonfire with their beer. It's definitely the sort of shit that would get me smacked down as a kid.
Is he here?
The smaller bat whispers to Jeremy, seeming to be walking directly behind him as if staying out of sight. No, man. Mika lets out a relieved sigh, and after a moment, familiar white fuzzy form of Mika emerges from behind the returned fennec. He's clutching something though, a long piece of rebar. I first think he's holding it as a sort of self-defense weapon, but then notice the hot white ash coated on the end. I guess it's a makeshift poker for the bonfire.
Hello, Jeremy. I believe this is yours.
She steps up, holding out a beer that Heather tossed upon her earlier. Her brother doesn't immediately react, and he stares blankly at her for a moment before bumbling over to take it from her. Hey, sis. Nah, not like ask you how you've been, but I'm assuming good, right?
Generally speaking, yes. Though we are still looking for Carl, as Chase made you away yesterday.
Jeremy looks over at me with a tepid expression, the faint outlines of a grimace forming at the edge of his muzzle. Really? Really? Flynn steps up to Gilead, tall enough that his shadow falls directly on the smaller fennec. Oh, Rockabilly, I don't see you much out here. Fucking wonder why. Mika glares at him from across the bonfire, the shifty-looking bat increasingly agitated by our presence.
We told Schizo what we knew yesterday. Evidently not, and yeah, don't call him that.
Jeremy lets out an amused noise. It's not clear if he's getting a bit tense, especially with Flynn's looming form. I was saying you all talking about Carl after they drop, all secretive like. Shortly after he fucking disappears. You titters want to extrapolate on that? Jeremy lets out an astonished puff of air, turning to peer past Jenna at me. Wow, dude. You really fucking did go crying to your friends for help. I feel a knot starting to form in my stomach and resist the urge to clench my fists. I'm just trying to find Carl. He's your friend too, right? Fuck no. Rich tits don't got any love around these parts. Didn't even think the guy had friends anymore after you two left. Points at Jenna and I. Flynn scowls but says nothing.
Yo, does Mummy Mare know you're here?
Mika's look up at Flynn now.
Because I won't be harassed, bitch.
Flynn actually laughs, exasperated beyond measure. Kid, you shut your mouth before I call your parents.
I'm nearly 21 now, you can't do shit.
Yeah, I can call the sheriff on you for trespassing and unpermitted burning down of fire during fire season, and they charge you as an adult.
Then why your faggot ass here instead of them, huh?
Jenna rubs her temple with both paws.
Okay, let's put a stop to that. We apologize for intruding on your Aho party, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't serious. This ain't serious to me. Seems like a big joke seeing you clowns back together. Mika, enough.
Her tone is so stern and maternal that it visibly catches the bat off guard. He seems surprised that she even remembers his name.
Look, let's just have a seat, alright?
Alright, sis, whatever you say. Mika blinks at Jeremy's response, then grumbles quietly.
Yeah, whatever.
The bat looks over his shoulder before moving to one of the camping chairs and taking a seat. Jeremy does as well. Both seem to make a conscious effort not to sit in the princess ones. Flynn takes another swig from his beer and joins them. I hesitate a bit, but Jenna beckons me forward. So I sit, singeing burn from the fire mixes the glaring heat in the sun above, and I kind of feel like I'm slowly being cooked. It's incredibly uncomfortable, but I seem to be the only person bothered. Well, by the heat, that is. We got empanos in the mini oven. Is that an offer?
It's a threat.
What?
Dumbass. Boys.
Mika shifts in his seat, keeps looking to Jeremy, wondering why he's even humouring this. He missionally pokes at the bonfire with his rebar, sparks flinging forth and dissipating in the desert dust. Jeremy, meanwhile, scoots his chair over and peers inside the little toaster oven-looking thing. It's hooked up at what looks like a 50-foot extension cord that goes into a shattered window of a nearby trailer. Yeah, they probably need a little bit more time cooking anyway.
Now, about Carl.
About Carl. Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, you know. He gesticulates towards me. He's been, like, really depressed as of late. I mean, anyone would get that impression if they talked to him a little. I think, like, once you're so rich you have everything you want, you don't need to work, it fucks with you. Life alone ain't good enough, man. Now if you know what's good for you, this stays between us, cool? He looks from Jenna to Flynn, then finally to me. Mika is staring hard at Jeremy. The runty bat's lips thinned over his little fangs. Sure? Yeah, whatever.
I suppose it depends.
Flynn sighs loudly, places his face in his hands. We didn't do nothing to Carl direct, like. He just kept telling me he wanted to feel something, you know. Didn't care what it was, didn't care what it did to him. I kept telling him, nah man, you're too soft for this, but he wasn't having it. So I gave him, like, a sample bag. Thought you told me you didn't give him anything else. I said I didn't give him anything laced. There's a difference, yo. Plus I figured you would have found his twerking fat ass by now. A sample bag of what? Flynn practically growls. Speed. You gave Carl meth? Brackets include the conversation we had last time about the difference between speed and meth, close bracket. Carl asked for fucking meth. That's horseshit.
Maybe it's like slang in the South of America. I don't fucking know.
I don't know what to tell you, man. You must not know him as well as you think. Carl and meth? Doesn't make any sense. Carl got really into the enlightened drug use thing in high school, but he was never on board with the stuff that hard. Flynn is fuming in his seat, and even Jenna looks perplexed.
Jeremy, where are you getting meth? Yo, that's enough questions.
Yeah, like, out of respect to your situation and stuff, I thought you should know. But we ain't got anything more than that. God damn it. Flynn's face is pulled into a silent snarl, eyes clenched shut. Jenna's just frowning to herself, her phone in her lap. No one says anything for a while. I have a million questions, but I don't think they'd answer any of them. For some reason, the first thing out my mouth is, What's an IHO party? Jenna and Mika both look at me with quizzical expressions. Something that Keith came up with.
Yeah, it means like happy in the Saturn or something. Well, not exactly happy. Something more profound than that, I'm sure. Everything had a fucking deeper meaning with him, didn't it?
Jeremy lets out a mirthless snark, the fennec grabbing a few paper towels for taking the empanadas out and settling them on the small tray. Yeah, but who's Keith?
How the shit do you not remember Keith?
Mika looks downright offended. He sounds familiar, but I can't put a face to the name. Well, you're in luck, Muskman. I'm not sure what he means until I see him move to pick up something sitting in one of the half-folded up camping chairs. It's a picture frame with a bunch of different pieces of handwriting on the back. To my surprise, he walks over and hands it to me. In the frame, there's a pretty and elaborate picture of a stoned-looking fox guy. He's a ratty lifeguard bucket hat and wearing an oversized hoodie with a stylized-looking eye on it. I feel like I've seen him before, but only in passing. You bring this with you everywhere? Just the bonfires. Kinda like the super old tradition we picked up after what happened. I know, it's like super culty creepy and shit, but Keith would have thought it was neat. He was all about that whole moral support big brother vibe. What happened to him? The question's blunt and this seems like this is one hell of a sensitive topic for these guys, but now I'm genuinely curious. He went missing. One day he's here slinging dope and playing foosball with us in the moldy shack, he ran a bar out of. Next, he's gone, man. Nobody knew where he went? Nope. Next thing we know, Mick get buffed as well. Bat looks guilty, squirming in his seat. We didn't expect you to show back up either, though. Same goes to you too, I guess. He looks over at Jenna. She responds with a polite smile and nothing more.
What's going on here?
As I hear Clint's voice, I see Mika quickly sit upright, visibly startled.
There they are. Look, I told you. I didn't tell them anything.
Heather is tugging at the weasel's tank top, but Clint quickly smacks her hand away. Clint.
Clint isn't a weasel, is he?
I don't think so.
I think they got him muddled up with Duke.
Emaciated, disheveled, teeth rotting out of his head, fur falling out and pink lesions dotting his flesh. Jeremy and Mika look pretty rough, but nowhere near as bad as him. I quickly had to fennec his picture back.
We were just leaving.
Jenna pulls her purse tight to her side and stands up.
Thank you for your hospitality, and it was good seeing you again, Jeremy. Should fucking kill the three of you here. You little cunts. Get the fuck out now. Go, go, go. I'm getting my fucking gun. I'm getting it.
Clint stomps off towards a nearby trailer, swearing up a storm.
Oh shit.
Mika quickly refocuses attention on the rest of us.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
I half expect Flynn to start shouting back, but instead I look over, he's already up. The Gilla's making a clicking noise and gesturing with his head towards the truck.
I'm not a victim, Jasmine. You bitch.
I quickly get out of my seat and fast walk to catch up with him, and Jenna does the same.
What the hell?
So Jenna can say she shakes her head in disbelief. We hop on Flynn's ride and take off without looking back.
Truly. What the hell?
Jenna repeats herself. She's sitting in the back seat, still peering out of the rear window with the boggled expression plastered on her face. I hear you. What a fucking mess. At least now we know they were hiding stuff about Carl. I tried to shine at least some optimism on the situation, however faint that is. We came out to get some information, and we did learn that information to be had. So not a complete wash. I don't believe for a titty fucking second that Carl's dabbling in crank. Not saying they're responsible, but they do know something.
Honestly, I don't believe they had the wherewithal to plan and successfully carry out something so malicious as kidnapping.
Flynn lets out a long sigh, keeping that truck steady along the dirt road with one hand while the other rubs his scaled face. That doesn't help us figure out what the fuck to do next. We already got them cops. I'm a fucking city clerk. Why am I stuck doing this shit? There's a silence in the cabin, Jenna turning back around to peer at Flynn's rearview mirror.
Because you're his friend and you care about him.
Flynn seethes at these words. That's not helping, Jenna. I pull out my phone, holding my thumb over the display button. Only 50% battery life. I'll have to remember to charge it later. Should I text Leo? Text him what? Did you want him to roy you again? Flynn lets out a little huff and Jenna gives a little stern look. What? When about what they just told us? There ain't no reason to. It's all pussy willow lies. After a while he sighs, sounding defeated. Flynn reaches into his pocket, holding up a slightly antiquated-looking phone. I'll just post in the group chat a quick summary. Okay. And I'll make sure to let them know how sketchy they were being. I nod, despite the fact that no one is currently looking at me. I step outside in the cool air, letting my feet rest on the hard asphalt of the parking lot. I stand there enjoying the openness of the surroundings. You can only be cooped up with two other people in a room for so long before it becomes increasingly apparent you're all just breathing each other's air. TJ trying to keep Leo company today while they were out looking for Carl, but TJ was saying Leo was really distant. They ended up getting a little recreational camping spot right before the lake, and Leo said he had to go, left TJ there without a ride. He said he didn't mind because he enjoys the walk, but Leo's behaviour had him worried. Jenna steps out from outside. Jenna steps out beside me, fidgeting some with her hair. Tough day, huh? She responds quietly. So if we're gonna search tomorrow, have you...
I'd actually rather not talk about Carl and the whole search effort right now, if that's alright with you.
Jenna pauses, crossing her arms over her chest.
I know that sounds bad, but And we are truly doing everything we can for him. Absolutely above and beyond. We've got a few more places on the outside of town that Flynn and I were going to look at as well, so more phone numbers to call. Flynn's going to text us with the details in the morning, so that's settled.
I let out a little exhale of relief. I honestly have no idea where else to look, so props to them. We have to scrounge up a place or two. Well, what do you want to talk about then? Jenna leans up against a nearby post. Luminescent light gives her fur a slight halo effect. She's looking at me now, eyes tired and very faintest of smiles crossing her muzzle.
To be quite honest, not much talking is needed.
Her smile grows less faint, her tired demeanour shifting from something more akin to cosy warmth. It's infectious, and so I'm smiling just the same.
Your company is fine enough.
Really? She nods. Well, same for you.
That's good then.
It's very good.
Great.
She lolls her eyes, standing there with it look like she's waiting for something. It takes me a second to realise what for. Oh, so I'm just gonna step over there. I take one comical large side step towards where Jenna's standing, my tail swishing behind me in a low arc before slapping down on the pavement. Jenna lets out a little amused noise as she peers up at me, her own tail flicking in a contented sway.
Oh?
She cants her head, putting on the front of innocent curiosity as I approach.
Whatever for?
Well, maybe to do something like this. I place my paws near the side of her face. Her fur is so much softer than mine, with no oily sensation to it at all. I rub my thumb across her cheek, then lean down and plant my muzzle against hers. Our lips meet. Her touch is gentle, a comfortable yet intimate pressure. Soon she opens her mouth and I find myself doing the same. With Lee it was always some kind of tongue battle for dominance, which of course can be fun, but right now, this is nice. I can feel goosebumps in the back of my neck as her breath meets mine. It kind of smells like oatmeal. Has she been getting into my dinosaur egg oatmeal packets I bought? I hope not. I only have a few of those. Jenna pulls back after a few seconds, her face radiant and glowing. She looks content despite everything going on. She hums to herself in thought. I take her smaller paws in mine, interlacing her fingers. Is something on your mind?
Just never kissed a guy in a motel parking lot.
She looks up towards the sky.
At night.
Oh. Our response was not exactly what I'd been expecting. Just everywhere else then? I tease, quickly pulling on a big goofy smile to emphasise how much I'm joking and hoping to God she doesn't get offended.
Right. I'm just making sure to add it to my list.
She says this with a complete deadpan before pushing away from the post and turning to head back inside. But wait, I was just messing with you.
Oh, I know.
She walks past me, swinging her arms, smacking me squarely on the ass. The shock of it renders me completely off balance. It has been quite a long time since someone's done that to me, and I feel my face flushed with heat as Jenna walks away. I can see her proud of herself smile stuck to her muzzle even with her back turned. And God, what a backside. I was so nervous when we did it before, I guess, but I didn't really have time to appreciate things. I wish you could sleep in your bed tonight. I speak without thinking, and Jenna stops, her paw on the door handle. The audible thunks of TJ fussing around inside punctuates the silence.
What's stopping you?
A genuine question, but she doesn't stick around for the answer. And then I'm alone. With a little sigh, I rest my side against the same post Jenna was, closing my eyes again and just letting the surroundings sink in. Again, it's unusually humid out, especially for spring, where we usually get less than an inch of rain in a month. Monsoon season is yet to start for another 90 days or so. I hold up my paws to the sky and let my tongue loll out, tasting the ozone in the air. It's the closest thing I can get to being in water right now, not counting the shower, of course. I mean actually being surrounded in something vast and wet, like a moist blanket that you can let carry you away. Speaking of moist blankets, TJ's been in the bathroom for like an hour and I really gotta piss. I step away from the high-pitched buzz of the fluorescent outdoor lighting, heading around the bend of the motel and into the wash nearby. It takes me a second for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. The desert at night can look pretty strange, like the absence of the sun sucks all colour out of the world.
This is going to be the Mika scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a feeling this one isn't going to change.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not got Jenna involved.
Makes me Well, we can skip through it if that's the case. What's a good spot heading away?
Because I don't want to spend another, 6 hours basically reading the same thing over again with a few differences.
Yeah. Let's just skip past a little bit then. Yep, there's Mika again.
Yep. We get the explanation and the me and my guys were on top of fucking Carl's house that night explanation.
Yeah. So
and the highness and the history. And he falls down. Yep.
He's talking about how he's sleepwalking.
There is the thing of fast forward there. I don't know what that does.
Hang on. Oh, there's this button. Good God.
Oh yeah, nightmare sequence. And Sam's death.
I think this is going to be the same.
Probably. I mean, it's the past, so I can't imagine it changing.
Yeah, it's the car being caught under.
Yeah, where they hit a guy and they managed to save him.
Right. This is just back to...
And Monster Flynn watching it all from the hill. Yeah.
This is just him and Jenna waking up together.
I think so.
This bit is exactly the same. I was talking about her dream with her grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And how she's going to do it, and then Leo is now fighting.
Being a fucking creep.
Do you think the Leo thing is going to be the same?
Probably. So Leo started a fight. If anyone wants to watch all of this, we already did it. It's the last couple of episodes of Echo that we put out. Should be on YouTube.
Yep.
We're skipping because we already went through this.
Why can't I skip again? I can't use fast forward at this stage for some reason. Fast forward's not working after the normal one. Okay, so that's Leo coming up. And I imagine it's probably going to be the same till Brian... Yeah. Brian's there.
Brian is scary.
Brian beats the fuck out of Leo.
We get the fight.
Yeah, Jenna's here, so it might be different. Let's rewind.
Right.
Right, so Jenna's here, so we can see if this is going to be different.
Jenna, where were you? Chase, where were you? What's going on?
Leo's expression goes a little more flat, his tail arm moving behind him. Jenna? The wolf breeds are curtly lifting a perplexed face from the fox.
I leave for 20 minutes and of course Leo is now beaten and shirtless.
She gives me a stern look.
What happened?
I let out a sigh, pinching the tips of my nose for letting the paw flop down at my sides. Leo tried to interrogate the tetanus alley crew by himself. But he was doing fine till that squeaky voice fat ass showed up. Brian. I clarify.
Oh shit.
She reaches into her pocket, taking her own keycard and sliding it. Are you ready for this bit again, Rowan?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to watch this bit live because it's hilarious. Let's get you inside. Oh.
Let's get you inside. There's some basic medical supplies in the bathroom. I'll see what I can scrounge up.
I think he's got a concussion.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you that you shouldn't let him fall asleep.
I'm right here, you know. You can talk to me. So I was distracted with the train noises in the background.
I would if I think it would do any good, but you obviously don't listen to anything we say, as evidenced by this latest stunt. God, Leo, why are you so stupid? You're an adult.
Jenna pushes the door open to help Leo inside. Try not to look directly at him, but judging by the tenseness of the muscles, I can tell he's definitely not digging Jenna's scolding. I walk Leo over to the beds and help him sit down carefully so he doesn't smush his own tail. Easy now, big guy. The wolf probably softens at these words, and I think I catch a slight sad smile pass towards my direction. Despite all this idiocy, we just survived near death together. He passed my lower back some just as Jenna shuts the door behind us.
I should probably text TJ. He's doing one of those sports medicine courses, so he might be able to help us out a bit. He left to continue the search with Flynn after you guys didn't show up. Though, honestly, I think we should drive him down to urgent care down in Peyton.
I look up at Leo, anticipating his response before he even speaks. I'm fine, Leo. I said I'm fine, yeah? You shouldn't be babying over me while Carl's still out there.
You're right, we shouldn't have to do this at all.
Jenna walks past us both with a glowering look of maternal disappointment before heading to the bathroom. She does drop the bag of food next to us in the bed, though. Ordinarily, I'd be concerned about getting grease in the covers, but considering the circumstances, I pull out the styrofoam container from the bag and pop it open. Inside are 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with toast, eggs, bacon pushed off to the side. It looks kind of haphazardly put together, but my grumbling stomach doesn't mind. I hand Leo a green grilled cheese sandwich and take some bacon for myself. You feeling dizzy? Any sharp head pains? Just some throbbing. But that's about it. Par for the course when I'm around you. He grins for a flicker of a second before taking a huge bite of the sandwich. I can't help but stare wide-eyed, my face burning. It's not like I'm super offended by the flirting or anything, but now of all times to do it? Leo? Leo swallows down a mouthful of bread and cheese. Judging by his expression, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of the taste. Yeah, sorry, just getting sleepy. I reach up, clutching his shoulder. Hey, come on, don't pass out with us. You know you can't do that now. Jenna returns with some hydrogen peroxide gauze and what looks like a little bottle of acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Jenna...
I sent out a message to the group chat letting you know what's going on. The signal was being kind of weird for a second, but it did say sent.
Jenna sits down in the bed beside the both of their candles infected, into which Leo visibly recoils. I can do it, just give it to me. The phoenix brow furrows and she actually pulls back the can.
No, is not how you're going to be able to treat me right now.
Like you treat me like shit, yeah?
What?
I know you've been talking ill of me behind my back to try and keep Chase away. Jenna stares dumbfounded at Leo.
I'm absolutely baffled by your priorities right now. I'm going to assume this is the head trauma speaking.
So what if it is? You know it's true? Leo shifts his gaze to me. She has, hasn't she? I sigh. I really wasn't prepared to deal with this confrontation right now. I probably should have spent more time with you to make sure you didn't do anything like you just did.
No, Chase, this is not your fault. The sooner Leo realizes he's the one making mistakes, the sooner we can rally and figure out what they're going to do next. For Carl, remember him, the person we're actually trying to find?
I wince, having agreed with the first part of what Jenna said, but it's definitely gone a step too far. Jenna, we're all concerned about Carl. I take the antiseptic spray and begin shaking the can before spritzing in a few of Leo's wounds. The wolf barely even reacts. His pain tolerance has always been pretty heavy growing up. He's been in pretty much every game of slap hands or punch you punch me that Flynn or Carl devised. I used to find that sort of toughness attractive. Guys, let's focus. Jenna holds up the flat of her palm towards me, speaking with a curt tone.
Chase, you don't really believe Leo is doing this out of genuine goodness of his heart, right? That he has some deep compassion for Carl? Hell, I've spoken to Carl online more these past few... I've spoken to him. Leo basically stopped talking to him the moment you left for college. That is 3 whole years of not giving a damn.
Leo's jaws pull back along the corners of his mouth for a moment before he reaches up and clutches his temple. That's real hypocritical of you to say.
Don't.
Jenna looks up at the ceiling, her usual cool and collected demeanour gone. It's clear Leo's action have pushed her past the point of calm understanding. Don't what? Don't stop you from laying into me while you're guilty of the same? Yeah, you left everyone behind, didn't you? Jenna looks stunned for a moment before her brow furrows once again.
Oh yes, Leo, a completely unjustified decision. Unrelenting neglect, abuse and traumatic influence is no reason at all to distance oneself from the sacred nuclear family unit.
It's not often that Jenna outright expresses what went on in her tiny house growing up. We all figured she wasn't keen on representing herself as something to be pitied, but so we generally didn't pry. Her bringing this up now definitely means it's a touchier subject, and Leo knows this.
After this outburst of yours and your latest behaviour, is it any wonder that we don't reach out to you much anymore?
Leo's unfocused gaze shifts from Jenna to me and back again. Chase talks to me. I squeeze Leo's shoulder. Guys, Carl, let's focus on Carl. What are we going to do about him? I flash Jenna a pleading look. Yeah, he still messages me from time to time. I squeeze harder. He says he misses me and that he can't wait to see me again. That he misses us being together.
What?
Jenna peers at Leo incredulously, her arms folded across her chest. When no one says anything to respond, she unfolds her arms, an expression softening some.
Wait, seriously?
Her attention shifts to me.
You've been texting Leo that you want to get back together this whole time?
No, not really. I mean, I barely text him. It's always late at night. Leo speaks with a droll monotone. My phone flashes and it's you. You bring up all the old times we messed around and how you wanted to do it again. You get kind of intense too. Like last time you talked about, how you wanted me and you again. Leo, for fuck's sake. My face absolutely burns. I want to just throw my paw over his muzzle and shut him up. How could he bring this up in a time like this? Or bring it up at all? Jenna's brow is raised high now. Before she can say anything, Leo speaks again, gesturing forward with jittery movements. I'm not fucking lying, yeah? I can show you the text. I saved him.
Got rid of them the next morning. Every time.
A dull throb pounds in my head with intrusive thoughts as pointing at Jenna's gaze, which is very much aimed at me now.
They made you feel guilty. Out of everything, that's what you feel guilty about? Okay, wow. Neither of you told me any of this.
I practically want to scream now. Carl, let's focus on Carl. Anything to get the spotlight off me. Well, it wasn't really pertinent. It's just a couple of times over the span of 3 years.
Chase. It is, at least somewhat.
She hesitates a second, trying to find some gentle phrasing as she shifts her weight from one foot to the other.
Not the nitty-gritty details, of course, unless we were all particularly inebriated.
She looks between the two of us.
At the very least, it partially explains Leo's behaviour. Though I'm not saying it justifies it.
There you go again, I'm right here and you're still talking over me. He hunches forward some.
You're injured, Leo. Plus your words and actions have been exceptionally irrational lately, so forgive me if you aren't given a spot at the grown-up table.
Leo ignores her, beginning to mumble. At first I was confused. Why are you acting like this? Trying to take away my chance to make things right. You've always been cruel, but never this bad, yeah?
Cruel?
Jenna lets out an amused but exhausted noise, pinching the bridge of her muzzle.
Are you implying that I'm stealing Chase from you? As if he were an object to be conquered and taken? That is a regressive...
Leo starts talking the same deadpan voice before Jenna finishes. You know what you're doing?
attitude towards someone you claim to understand so deeply.
Jenna continues to speak even throughout the wolf's words. But hey, that's just who you are. Leo, please relax, stop talking. I begin wrapping gauze around one of the disinfected wounds. It's hard to tell and difficult to focus on what's going on, but some of them might require stitches. His large head turns to look at me. His pupils are hidden behind the half-open eyelids. Just close my eyes and fall asleep. Wait, no, don't do that. And then you're right there with me again. Jenna's nostrils flare, exasperated.
I am about to smack him awake.
I frown. Don't do that either. You came down to Echo to surprise me the other week. I thought that was really nice of you, showed you cared. I have no clue what he's talking about. The past few weeks I've been cramming for midterms and streaming old movies with Vincent in my dorm room. For a moment I think Jenna gives me a slight accusatory look but doesn't say anything. Instead she grabs a few strips of bacon before walking to the side of the room and checking her phone.
Okay, the signal is completely messed up. My bars are bouncing up and down like they're on a trampoline.
She holds her phone higher, squinting at it. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep Leo upright as I have a particularly nasty-looking gash in his arm. He must have cut himself when he fell down. Maybe a tetanus shot is in order when we get to the doctor too. You were kind of thin, which was cute, but you should eat more. Are you ready for a walkie friend? I was gonna have Pops cook you some of those hamburgers with the jalapeno ketchup you liked. He's not really making much sense at the moment, but at least the focus isn't on me anymore. I have a feeling I'm going to get a bit of scolding from Jenna later though. I always thought Leo's dad burgers were kind of effy, but I never really wanted to be rude. The goatee though, you shaving it was kind of funny. You were so proud of that thing. But it was like you were doing everything you could to be cute for me. Jenna's frowning deeply at her phone now. Whether it's because of what Leo said or something on the screen is unclear. Without looking, Leo brings up a giant paw and squeezes at the end of my chin. I quickly push it away and he seems surprised for a moment when he feels the untrimmed scruff. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Is that really you, Chase? I catch Jenna peering pointedly at the wolf before glancing back at her phone.
I'm thinking maybe we should start driving to the clinic now. I'm not even sure the others got my texts, and the stupid phone can barely buffer the messaging app. I've tried both it and the standard SMS.
I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. The spot where the bars indicating service and Wi-Fi aren't there anymore. At least at first. I think I could see them flicker back on for a second before disappearing again. I've never seen it do this before. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is messed up too. I press my thumb over the power button. I guess I'll try turning it off and on again. Jenna frowns.
Then I suppose there's no point in checking my laptop.
So that's how long it's out before shoving her phone back in her pocket and looking at me.
Before I give up entirely, let me try your phone real quick. You always have the best signal.
That isn't... Oh.
That is, unless you got something on there you would rather not show me.
Her tone is idle and nonchalant, but her words are definitely meant as a jab. Hey, come on. I let go of Leo, giving the Fennec my best annoyed look. I can explain all this later, it was bad timing with... And then Leo goes still. This is where Walkie Friend comes in, isn't it?
I think so.
Everyone ready for Walkie Friend? I turn back to look in his eyes, notice they're still open. Here he comes. There he is. But there's something behind him.
I don't like it.
Leo mumbles something inaudible. The figure behind him stands still, the body blurred and dark, and the light in the room won't touch it. It's like staring in a funhouse mirror, except the thing in front of me isn't following my movements as I back further and further away. There's a gasp from the corner of the room.
Chase?
Jenna's voice comes after a few seconds of silence. I hit the wrong button. Jenna's voice comes after a few seconds of silence.
What is that?
She speaks in a half yell, half whisper. I don't know. I respond without thinking. The figure still stares at me. As I back away, I notice that its socketed eyes follow me, without it ever moving its head. My foot catches on the edge of the suitcase and I have to quickly grab the dresser so I don't tumble over. I suck in a sharp breath between my teeth and my heart pounding. No reaction. 10 seconds have passed now and this thing is still there. Leo stirs, but only somewhat. His eyes roll back in his head and he turns slightly towards the direction of the doppelganger. Only then does it begin to move as well. It rests its shadowy furrowed paw on Leo's own. Now, last time we did say nothing, so we should probably do the opposite one this time. and see what happens. I wince as the words leave my mouth, spoken without thought.
Chase, don't. Why?
His voice is garbled, sounds nothing like me, like a clipped soundbite from an old cassette tape. Just don't hurt him. Leo lays there conked out and helpless. Such a contrast from the fuming predator striking at Brian that I saw 30 minutes ago.
You've hurt him plenty.
No. I tried to swallow, finding my throat dry. Leo's lips move again, this time I can hear him clearly. I love you.
Love you too.
He speaks in my voice this time, crystal clear with no distortion. The affection is slightly perturbed, and I realise it's how I sounded when I responded to Leo earlier. Its shadowy visage fades into the surroundings until it's completely gone.
We should probably save as well.
Right.
Oh god, the weather outside.
Is the storm getting bad?
Yeah. Apparently it's gonna peak at around midnight.
Ugh.
So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Right. Shall we carry on? Leo sits up still in a sleepy daze. He clutches at his paws, still feeling nothing there. A confused sad expression crosses his white face. Oh, I can finally look over at Jenna, who's backed against the bathroom door. She rubs her eyes, seemingly looking on in disbelief. Neither of us say anything, try to process what the hell that was. It just felt like a dream.
Can we fast forward again?
I think we can. I don't think anything else is going to happen.
Yeah.
There. I think that everything else is just.
It seems to be the same again.
Yep.
Yeah, Mika's back.
It's Mika's outside, but they think it's Mika, but it's actually Brian. And then you find out you're.
And then you're taken briefly to the playground. You get the dream sequence, and you're shouting for people. Everything is red.
Oh yeah, this is him seeing the van, isn't it?
That comes up later. This is where you start to get the torture scene. Yay!
Yay, torture scene. Again, this is just the same we've had before. Just mask.
Yep.
Did Jenna say anything? Or is this just the... This is just him.
Yeah, it's this again.
Yep, so it's the exact same thing as the other one. We're now on to Sunday.
Got the red van.
I wonder if the red van scene will be different with this. I think this is the same.
It seems it. Yeah, there we are. The van that killed Sam. When you find out that baby Leo and even younger Mika fucked there. That's the dig.
That's the
I think
finding
it
of
changes
Sam's
again
body.
around Heather. I think that's where the changes are.
Chase, we've almost died tonight. Was a very unpredictable and dangerous situation. Well, it's not letting me skip forward any further. No, I can skip forward again. Oh, okay, so
Oh yeah.
we did do Jenna can talk sense into anybody before. What do we think? Do we try the other option this time?
We can try it.
Okay. Well, I presume Mika's the one that would generally know how to talk them down. I doubt they really like taking orders from Brian, and now he's dead.
Presumably.
Hopefully dead. It should be easy to get them to stop all this shit. Mika offers only a tired smile.
Chase, I'm gonna steal you something nice when this is over. You need a new MP3 player?
I chuckle a bit, shaking my head, which is a bad idea because they'll smart something fierce. I just use my phone for music. Thanks though. Jenna is still supporting me as I walk huffs.
I'm just worried about Carl. It's hard to put my trust in someone else when his life is on the line. Yeah, but like I said, I know them. Jeremy ain't the same kid you ditched back in secondary school.
Jenna hums.
Yeah, I noticed that when he left us in a torture trailer to die. I doubt he knew how far Brian would take it. But yeah, can't level gone way up.
Still pretty dangerous, no matter what. Jenna looks sidelong at the wolf, narrowing her gaze some. Still pretty disgusted with the wolf for the van revelations. The further we get away from it, I'm starting to feel myself get more and more ill at the thought. The camera, Jesus. So yeah, this is all bits we've dealt with before.
Yep.
So we can just spin past a little bit.
There's the whole TJ Flynn thing. And it's Heather's weird house and the probable abuse that she goes through with her father.
This is all same as before. So we'll leave, because this is the talk down scene, we'll see if this is any different. Doors front from the inside, knock it to the side, sending the toys and the miscellaneous junk flying. Hanging light bulb flickers in the closet as the figure steps through. I quickly realise it's Heather. She's blood in her legs and a revolver in her grasp.
You, get out! Go to hell, away!
I throw up my paws. Leo hesitates a moment and does the same. Hey girlie, we mean you no harm. We just need... Leo stops talking and I'm not sure why. That is until Heather shifts out the way and I can see more clearly into the flickering closet. Hunched against the wall is what looks like an enormous doll. Upon further inspection, it's not a doll at all. It's a man, and there's a red smear on the wall behind him. I recognise him for the drawing, a portly fellow with circular glasses, each of the lenses shattered by bullet holes, but just empty sockets where the eyes once were. Atop his head is a little plastic crown embedded with costume jewellery.
Oh shit.
Mika walks into the room quickly, recoiling at the sight of Heather and the figure in the closet. Carl huddles back down against the floor, seemingly trying to make himself look small. First, Mika starts to approach the closet, but quickly stops as Heather brings up the revolver, pointing at all of us. I've never actually looked down the barrel of a gun before, and the feeling is petrifying.
What the fuck are you doing? It's me, Mika. I don't care, you need to go.
She shifts the revolver over, aiming it unsteadily at Mika. We all take a step back, my back now against the wall. Where the hell is Flynn?
Did you shoot your dad? Holy fuck, Heather.
Mika? Leo rumbles in warning.
That's her fucking dad in the closet. I would kill all of you.
Shot rings out and Mika flinches. The weapon was aimed at him, but it went off. He blinks, shocked as the bat's hands begin to shake as he checks his torso. He whirls around, spotting a light spray of blood around a bullet hole in the wall. That's when the pain hits him and he slowly begins to raise his wing. Clipped right through the centre is a bloody hole in the edge of the impact site looking like frayed fabric. A bat slumps back, exuding ragged gasp.
You fucking shot me?
Leah's eyes bulge as he starts to move, but stops when the revolver is swirled towards him. Heather? I shout, trying to draw attention away from the others, though I quickly realise I have no clue what to say. We're looking for Carl. Remember how you mentioned during the bonfire? My voice is shaky, cracking as I speak. The cat's chest rises and falls like she's hyperventilating. It's been that way since she stepped out the closet. She makes her way over towards a slumped form of Carl, still half covered in his blanket. She points the gun down at him.
I'm gonna shoot him in his god fat, stupid, ugly face unless you leave right now.
She's obviously screaming her demands, spouted with such a pitch her voice constantly cracks. Tears begin to roll down her already wet cheeks, her eyes buffy. Beneath her, Carl covers his face with a blanket, visibly trembling from a mixture of fear and exhaustion. Okay, right on. I swallow. That's the plan, right guys? We're just gonna leave, nice and slow. I do my best to put on a calm face and I nod to Leo and Mika.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Mika's outburst is directly towards me.
Not after come all this way. We're not leaving the rich boy.
He practically hisses the words. He's cupping his hands over his wound and trying to avoid stretching the skin of his wing that seems to just make the hole bigger.
Heather, you have no reason to be keeping that chunky bitch here. Just let us take his ass and leave. Leave?
Heather repeats.
I have nowhere else to go. Nowhere. Everything used to be bad, but not terrible like this. Keith barely talks to me anymore, and when he does, he says...
She breathes in shakily.
He says the meanest things. I cover my ears and I can still hear him. He's fucking gone. His secret cell phone number I don't know about. You can't see him.
You might have to do that when again you went kind of bubbly.
Oh. Sorry. Keith is fucking gone. Unless he gave you some secret cell phone number I don't know about, you can't be speaking to him.
Mika neglects to mention what we discovered about Brian's habits with the potential fate of his fox friend. But it's probably for the best that he isn't brought up.
This is all hum shit, plain and simple. Duh, stupid. I know that. Doesn't explain anything though. You just give it a silly name, but it's not silly, it's horrible and I hate it.
Mika opens his mouth to snap back, but Heather shrieks, a blubbering of spit coming out of her mouth, snot running down her nose. She begins to press her finger closer to the trigger.
Sorry, I can't see clearly.
It's alright. Carl, move! She doesn't fully finish pulling the trigger, leaving us all staring wide-eyed in suspense. It looks like she's dry heaving, trying to throw up an immensely sick feeling within her that will not leave.
Oh, there we go. I can hardly hear anything anymore. The ringing is so loud. It just sounds like him. He won't stop.
Heather flails in the direction of the shadowy figure in the closet. Even though the man in the closet is very much dead, he's propped up in a way that makes him look like he's watching Heather pace around the room. His dark sockets following her while her back is turned. She seems afraid to look at him. The feeling crosses her eyes for a moment. I tell Leo is weighing in his chances of whether he can tackle her to the ground before she can get shot off. Before he can move, they open again and she speaks, her voice still shrill but quieter.
Everyone thinks I'm stupid, that I'll never do anything but rot away like everyone else. And it has nothing to do with Duke or Brian or Jeremy or Keith or anyone thinks will fix things. This whole town is so shit. No argument there.
Mika mumbles wide-eyed.
And it's not your fault. They're wrong, and I don't even really know you.
She points the pistol at me. It's like my heart crawls up into my throat, my whole body rigid with fear.
This town is evil. And I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna do something with my life for once, and not be some plaything.
She growls at the ground as she says this.
It's what Keith told me to do all the time before he went away for a while.
Heather stands there shaking in place as if trying to muster the courage to do something. She begins to strafe closer to the closet and bending down to pick something inside the corpse. It's a bloody folder with a little booklet stapled to the front. I recognise the emblem on the cover of the Reclamation Bureau. Heather's paw covers the front, but I can still make out Otter's Dam Basic Operation Procedures Manual. Outside there's a movement by Duke's truck. Trying not to draw attention to myself, I glance out the window and spot a familiar pattern of orange and black scales and TJ's tufty fur. There's a glint of something metallic, Flynn's repeater, which is currently sighted towards the hysterical cat. Heather is so close to us now. Flynn wouldn't risk trying to take the shot, right? The idea of Flynn shooting anyone is unfathomable in its own right. Jenna's out there with them too. She's speaking to Flynn, pointing. The lizard is shaking, saying something back. This back and forth continues.
What are you even talking about? I'm gonna make it so there is no town.
Sarah turns away. She catches a glimpse of the blood in the folder, then looks back towards the closet. She screams, but she's not staring at the corpse. Like she's looking above it at something else at eye level.
Daddy?
Glass shatters against my back, showering Carl below. Heather lurches forward, trying to scream, but all it spews forth from her mouth is blood. It pulls enough the gritted teeth into a puddle on the floor, Heather failing to grasp for air as fluid fills her lungs. She falls headfirst into the pool of her own fluids, tears still rolling down her face. Mika stands there with his head in his hands, a look of shock plastered on his face. Nobody moves. Nobody says anything. Jenna enters the room first, her turquoise eyes fixed on the bloody form laying on the centre of the room. Flynn is right behind her, looking initially rather gormless, though his eyes start to widen as he realises what he's done. Uh-oh.
Good shot, Flynn. Everyone alright?
I catch my breath against the wall, looking up to see the slumped form only staring ahead of the closet. Quietly, I close the closet door. Yeah, I guess. Jenna looks over to Mika, spying the bullet hole in his wing. Her complexion darkens, since she's standing over Heather's body. The feline's eyes are still wide open, glassy with all this sort of eternal shock. Jenna promptly delivers a swift kick to the head. Heather's neck is now turned at a stiff angle.
Bitch.
Flynn rests his palm on his knees, exuding a dry retch. Leo steps over, trying to inspect Mika's wound.
Flynn? Guys?
Jenna's attention shifts to the ram on the floor.
Carl, you can get up. It's safe now. We're free? Yes. And that makes 2 of these bastards who have tried to hurt us that we put down.
Flynn stops coughing up air long enough to gape at Jenna. That we put down? Flynn points to Heather. I killed her. No one will pull the trigger. Flynn's voice is strange, way more high-pitched than I'm used to.
Right, after I told you to.
Yeah, I listened to you and now someone is fucking dead. Flynn covers his mouth, muttering quiet expletives.
You saved everyone. Carl is okay, all thanks to you.
TJ lingers in the doorway, half hidden behind it.
Heather? She was leaving. We were all fine.
Flynn sits in the corner, clutching his repeater with a grip so tight I figure the barrel will bend any second. Fuck. Don't say that. Don't fucking say that. I've never seen Flynn like this. I figured he'd be the sort to take something like this as a necessity of the situation, but he's visibly shaking.
Flynn, no one is going to prosecute you. She killed her dad and then shot Mika. You stopped her, saved her friends, saved Carl with a single shot. If you want to feel bad about this, that's your prerogative. I'm just stating the facts.
Leo says nothing as he looks at Mika's wound, the bat himself visibly fuming.
You told him to shoot even after she picked her shit up and was heading towards the fucking door? You killed my goddamn friend. That was not remotely apparent. The angle. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Just like Jeremy said, you act like you know everything, and then when shit fucks up, you blame everyone else.
Seeing Jenna increasingly backed into a corner, I decide to speak up. I don't think that's exactly fair.
Rot, bitch.
Mika seems like a seethes in my direction. Meanwhile, Leo mutters to him, seemingly trying to get him to calm down.
Oh, is that where the moral high ground is? Where you're standing? You and your friends tried to break into Carl's house and tipped off his future kidnappers when he tried to flee from you. You are the entire reason we're here, Mika. And you still defend them, even after seeing what they're capable of? That's absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable? Who the fuck describes being pissed that your friend got murdered as unacceptable?
Jenna, it's a little more complicated than that. Let's just get Carl and Hightail out of Echo, yeah? Leo looks at me as if quietly asking for me to back him up on this.
And what's Heather capable of? Finally finding the strength to stop her fucking skeever of a dad? True monster, that.
Jenna ignores me, her attention now on Leo.
Oh, is this complicated for you? I'm sorry, Leo. I know your sense of right and wrong can be a little addled sometimes. You know, with running around beating people up, sexually harassing Chase at the mall, and fucking and filming as a child. Bullshit. What?
TJ is looking bleary-eyed and baffled in the doorway. Leo's jowls part of the wolf, restraining a snarl as he releases his grip on Mika. His red eyes glare down at Jenna, and it's an absolute menacing image of the blood-soaked room. Come on, Carl, let's get you up. I'll grab some snacks and bandages and we can get you all sorted and lay a bit of painting, yeah? You too, Swiss cheese. He pats Mika's shoulder, the bat's nostrils flare. The group exits quietly, Flynn still quietly shaking his head. Jenna has her back turned to me now, facing Heather's corpse. I reach down to her, speaking quietly now that we're the only ones in here. Jenna, they're just worked up. It's this hum business making people say all the wrong things, right? Why don't we?
Get out.
Her voice is curt and strange, the words almost gurgle through frustration and rage. Next thing I know, she's got her paw on my chest, pushing me out the door and slamming it behind me. I press my forehead against the window, watching my breath fog up the glass. Carl was straddling the middle seat with Flynn driving, and they seemed to be doing a good job of calming each other down. Everyone else in the truck bed in the back. Everyone except Jenna. She'd left without even so much as a goodbye, insisting she would take Heather's dad's car. I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She kept claiming she had to do something. On our way out of town, we passed a couple of burning houses and even heard a gunshot or two. It all makes me pretty damn glad this nightmare is almost over. Yet we've been driving for nearly half an hour and we still haven't reached the interstate. Usually Flint Road doesn't take that long to get through. Even Flynn is starting to get a bit worried, checking the landmarks in the dark to make sure he hasn't missed a turn. I can still see the town in the distance, echoes a glimmer of light and smoke. 5 more minutes pass and we eventually reach the interstate, emerging seemingly from nowhere. Streams of ambulances and police cars begin to pull in the opposite lane, all heading into town. I glance in the back window for one final look at Echo, when I notice something amiss. The lake. It's bigger. Way bigger. The shore's all the way up to the highway, with trailers and small vehicles peeking out from around the side. The others see it too. Then I remember something. When Jenna was leaving, there was something she was holding on to. A slightly bloody folder and booklet that she tucked away from the Reclamation Bureau vehicle before heading off.
I suppose you won't be coming back after all.
Oh. Fuck.
Excellently put, kid. Jenna's bad ending. She fucking floods the town.
I'm intrigued to know if there's another ending where she does the talking at the end, because then she can't give Flynn the order to shoot him.
Maybe, but I think you just get the good ending then. But, yeah.
We'll quickly check that and see. But, yeah.
Like, she did solve the problem, technically, but it resulted in mass murder. Also, fucking brutal. Oh, Echo.
Right, let's quickly see if that makes a difference. So we can just speed skip past all of this. Speed. watch Duke have lots of expressions. Dig, just do it. Jenna can talk sense into anyone. Jimmy's her brother. We can probably just get back to the...
When you get with Heather.
Is it just to see when Heather turns up?
Yeah, I'll kill all of you.
Hang on, let's just... oh, yeah, just... Actually, one thing, does she always shoot Mika? Yep, she always shoots Mika in that case.
Did she do it the first time in the good
No,
ending?
No.
I don't think she did. I think it's because of the argument she had with Jenna.
Yeah, I think Jenna's not there in this one. Yep, Jenna's not, even though we said Jenna should talk to her. Jenna's not there for this conversation.
She might be in the room. She might have snuck out.
Yep, and there's...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly the same.
Yeah. So it is that earlier on
Yep,
one.
it's that one earlier on decision.
Also, that music, my god.
So that's...
Should we take a look at the artwork
Sure.
now that we've got all of it? Let's relive our favorite memories.
So we start with that one.
The picture of the gang. Got that amazing talk out in the desert. We got the beautiful one under the water. Argument scene.
And we've got...
Carl's roots. Ah, look at that hunk. Look at that hairy hunk. That one is cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Got the sheet.
In Leo's route you have the...
The horny one.
Yep. The talking
Got that
scene.
little moment. You have the two different sides of you being pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
With all the different like variants.
Mm-hmm. Then we have the big
The
monster. I don't remember
then
that one.
Shadow chase on the hill
Ah, yes.
when you're trying to go back. Yeah.
Hang on, you can...
In Leo's route, yeah,
and
and
he
you
disappears.
can see. Yeah,
Ah.
because he's only there for a second. TJ's route, you get the cute hiking scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yep, very cute. Get the psychosis, little moment in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You get you're trying to push yourself on TJ, and he does not respond well. And then the post-murder scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, you got the smoke room, which I love the lighting in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly a look. Get the
tarantulas in the room.
widows.
Yep.
Yeah, Black Widows. You get, look at how they massacred my boar.
I don't even remember who the boar was.
Some pervy guy that was like friends with Brian.
Ah.
Sydney, but grown up, but it's actually the mine, and you're on fire, and you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
Then the final image of baby Jenna. We get that beautiful fucking scene. I love the lighting.
Hmm.
It's some very strong lighting. I love that one. I love the lighting there too. That is fucking gorgeous. Just a little shot of someone lost.
Alright, well.
Yeah.
We finally have.
And these are the.
I'm confused what this is.
Me too.
'Cause these are all the days for all of them. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for Carl. Oh no, that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. So what are these?
I am not sure.
Let's try.
I'm guessing like extra pictures. I don't know.
January 2010. What makes a good date? Chase told me dinner and a movie. Personally, I feel like having dinner half of the day at my house would have been real nice. I mean, it's cleaner than any restaurant you might find in Peyton, and my mum's a great cook. So I can tell by the way Heather has her head down that she's really unhappy. I feel sort of sinking feeling in my chest. It sort of set the mood for the night so far. Mum drives us to the movie theatre and I start to get restless knowing how late we are. The movie is supposed to be really good and it takes place in space, which is my favourite. Mum tells me not to worry since previews usually fill the first 15 minutes. Finally we park and I hop out and hold the door open for Heather. I notice she's taking her time getting out, so I wait for her as Mum goes in to get the tickets.
Why is your mum coming?
My voice is a whisper. I reach out to shut the door, but she does it herself a little harder than she needed to. I stand there for a second, not sure what to say.
Well, it's really hot out. Staying in the car would be too... Never mind.
Heather stalks ahead of me and I feel that sinking feeling again. Something now hitting me that bringing Mum was a bad idea. Not that I told her to come, Mum sort of just invited herself. Chase gave me a bunch of tips on how to make a date go well, but he never said anything about parents. Maybe it was so obvious that he didn't think he had to tell me. That thought just makes me shrink into myself even more and I can feel my face get hot. I push my paws into my pockets and follow after her, trying to keep my ears upright. Mum's really nice and sits about 5 rows behind us, but Heather still seems pretty angry about it. She keeps moving in her seating position, folding her arms and making pouting faces. Each time she sighs, I feel myself cringe a little, just a little more inside, and now I can't focus on the movie. After about 30 minutes, she adjusts her seating position again and knocks some popcorn into
It's
my
a
lap.
Dastra! That's what they're fucking watching. Sorry, I recognise the background image. It took a moment.
After about 30 minutes, she adjusts her seating position again and knocks some popcorn into my lap. I lean over to her, whispering.
What's wrong?
She shrugs, keeping her eyes on the movie. I lean back into my seat again, trying to keep my ears up, especially with Mum behind us. The drive back home is pretty awkward. Mum goes on and on about the movie and what she thought of it, which is fine because I can tell Heather is in the mid-talk, and I have no idea what to say. As we drive back into Echo, Mum looks back at us.
Alright, Heather, would you like me to drop you off at your house? Actually, me and TJ wanted to talk about a few things. Would it be alright if we stayed over for a little while longer? Sure thing.
I look over at Heather, but she doesn't look back at me. I have no idea what she's talking about, and I think I'd rather not find out. There's something I can do though, so when we pull over at the driveway, I quietly get out and follow Heather into the house. So how was the movie? He says it without looking up from the TV.
Oh, it was great. Mr. He's really cool.
She's using that weird sweet voice she puts on for my parents.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I follow after her. Good, good. He doesn't even try to sound interested as he keeps watching the hockey game. Heather's already sitting
I'm a Canadian.
Heather's already sitting in my bed when I walk through the doorway. She's got her legs crossed, paws resting back behind her on the bed. I stand there awkwardly trying to figure out what to do. She just sits there and doesn't say anything.
Do you want to listen to some music?
I turn to my dresser, grabbing a small stack of CDs and shuffling through them. I skip over the Christian rock albums, feeling my ears burn a little at the thought of pursuing those. I end up picking up a cherry... I think it's maybe Cherry Bloom again, isn't it? Or was it just Cherry Bloom? Album my dad gave me a few years ago when I was trying to get me into classic rock. Heather still hasn't said anything and I feel myself sweating a bit as I put the CD in and turn it down low. Finally I turn around to see Heather hasn't moved from her spot on the bed. She's been watching me the whole time. I twitch her ear and scratch behind my head, laughing to cover my nervousness.
What's up?
She gestures with her hand towards the doorway.
Shut the door. Okay.
I know my mum will probably get mad, but I do it anyway, trying to close the door as softly as possible so my parents don't hear it. That's when I hear the bed squeak behind me. I turn around and Heather is right in front of me.
Oh.
I jump back and bump against the door. Heather giggles and moves closer. I can feel her breath on my face. She reaches out and rests her paws on my waist and slides them up, pushing up my shirt. Her paws are on my bare fur now.
Oh, wow, okay.
I have no idea what to say or what to do. Heather just giggles at me again, pressing her fingers through my fur to my skin. I feel my paw pads against me. I look down and see as she has my shirt pushed up above my belly button and she's starting to rub at my white fur that's exposed. No one's ever touched me like this before and I know I'm supposed to like it, but I don't. It's almost like I've jumped into ice cold water and now I can't breathe. I open my mouth and think I'm about to ask her to hold on, but that's when she kisses me. It's awkward when her bottom lip presses against mine, the whole against my teeth, and she pushes me back, banging my head into the door. I can taste the butter from the popcorn still on her lips. She huffs into my mouth excitedly as she pulls me away from the door and pushes me down in the bed.
Wait, Heather.
My voice is quiet as she pushes me on down on top of me and flat. My voice is quiet as she pushes me all the way down and I'm flat against the bed, my legs dangling off the side. She's really excited and that kind of scares me. Her eyes wide and the breathing coming in loud huffs. I grab at her wrist as she pushes my shirt up again, but this time she does it all the way up to my neck. She leans down and I gasp as she pushes her cold nose against my stomach. She's so confident in what she's doing. Has she done this before? She nuzzles lower and begins to press a paw against my crotch. I sit up fast and push her back.
Heather, let's stop.
I quickly push my shirt back down. Heather stares at me then awkwardly stands up, folding her arms.
You weren't enjoying it?
I keep pretending to adjust myself, having no clue what I should say.
No, it was okay. I'm not ready is all.
I know that sounds really cliche, but it's the truth. I finally lose the battle with my ears. They tilt off to the side of my head as Cherry Limb plays softly in the background.
Alright, I should probably get going anyway.
But she doesn't move, she just stands there like she's waiting for something. I'm still too stunned to really know what to say.
Do you need a ride home?
That's the best I can manage. She sighs again before turning to the door.
No, it's alright. It's only a few minutes away. See you on Monday. Okay.
I get up awkwardly and walk her to the door, but she's already gone. I sit there in the bed for a while, hearing the rumble of my dad's voice for a bit before I hear the front door open and close. Then I hear some footsteps up the stairs and my mum sticks her head around the doorframe.
Everything okay? Why aren't you walking her home? She told me she wanted to walk alone.
I feel my ears drip lower.
Oh, alright.
Mum's about to leave, but then she pokes her head back around the doorframe.
Well, your father and I are watching TV. Why don't you come down and join us?
That actually sounds nice, and my ears perk up a little.
Sure, I'll be there in a minute. Okay.
She smiles at me before pulling back from the doorframe. I watch the doorway for another minute, then sigh and lay back down again. I cover my face with both paws rubbing my forehead. I'm so bad at this stuff, why did I even try? That's when my phone buzzes and I take it out to see a text. Chase, how's the date? I stare at it for a second, then on a whim press call button with my thumb. He picks up after a second ring. Hey biatch, your date over already?
Hey Chase.
What's up? I can hear him adjust the phone and his voice drops to lisp. I hear Leo's voice in the background muffled. But that TJ? I start to massage the bridge of my nose, closing my eyes against the room's light.
Yeah, the date's over. It was okay, I guess.
Are you asking me? How was it? I wait a while, listen to the white noise in the other end. I can hear some music in the background. I wonder if they're in Leo's car.
Chase, how did you know you're gay?
There's some silence on the other end before I hear a burst of laughter. I flatten my ears, feeling my face blush all over again. I don't say anything though. Just wait for him to get it out of his system. What did he say? Leo sounds really close now, like his muzzle is right up against Chase's. I hear some more adjusting of the phone going on before Chase finally responds. Sorry, I just didn't expect that. Are you on your computer?
Yeah.
I get off my bed and walk over to the desk, waking the computer up. Okay, go to the website Thick Fur. I type it into the URL and press enter. Immediately a buff fox with no clothes on pops up. He's got his paws in his privates and he's sort of pushing them up. There was a bunch of other pictures too, but I don't have time to process them as I jump and close the browser. I dart my eyes behind me, half expecting my mum and dad to be staring around the corner, their eyes wide in horror.
Chase.
So, are you hard?
What? No.
Then you probably aren't gay, TJ. You like looking at boobs, don't you? I pause.
Well,
Wait a minute, don't you?
not really, I guess.
This isn't you being all Christian, right?
No, I'm fine with this stuff. I just haven't really given it much thought, I guess.
I guess you could be asexual. Leo, stop it. I can hear the phone getting bumped around again. I think I know what's going on. What are you guys talking about? His voice is playfully accusatory, and I can hear some more shuffling as the phone as I assume Chase tries to move away from the wolf. Alright, TJ, I better get going. I'll talk to you more about this on Monday, okay?
Okay.
Later, Tage. Leo's voice is muffled like he has something in his muzzle. And listen, TJ. He sounds strained. Heather is, well, she's not that. It's just not a big deal, alright? Okay, I'm gonna go. Talk to you later.
See ya.
I hear Chase start to snap something at Leo before he hangs up. I drop my phone in the bed next to him and close my eyes, tempted to just fall asleep right then and there. I feel better though. Chase always has a way of making things seem alright. He offered doing a double date with us, but Heather didn't want to, so it didn't happen. It would have made things a whole lot better. I start to wonder what Chase and Leo might have been doing. He was probably nibbling Chase's ear. Leo does that a lot in front of us too sometimes. I actually think it's kinda cute. My paw drifts down to my crotch for the first time in the past few hours. I feel something hard.
TJ?
I jump as I hear my mum call from downstairs, jerking my paw back.
Come in.
I quickly sit up aside of the bed, just going downstairs to watch the rest of the game with my family. Interesting.
TJ perspective. Boop boop. So, I'm guessing the extra bits?
Yeah. Hang on, Meow's dying next to me.
You alright?
Are you okay, Meow? You swallow the wrong way? You can cough if you need to.
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out. Alright. Well, I mean, that was definitely something interesting from TJ's perspective, and it probably does answer the whole is TJ asexual thing.
Yeah, which is maybe demisexual.
Which one's demisexual again?
Going on. Has to take a while. Like, you need to build up like an actual relationship with the person first.
Ah, right.
Sorry, I'm a little bit dying.
That's fine, man.
Oh, why am I tired? I have no right to be tired.
Well, let's blitz through these 6 other mini stories. Runaway.
Who's this gonna be?
May 2010. Is that Leo's room? Maybe. Oh, I think it might be Jenna, considering who's talking. The sun is beginning to set, and if I want to avoid Dad and Jeremy, I'll have to leave soon. I take another look around my room just to make sure I haven't missed anything. With my bookshelf empty and the clothes packed away, it feels a little bleak, gloomy. If not for the posters still hanging on the walls, you'd be forgiven for thinking no one had lived here at all. It reminds me of one of those TV shows where they explore abandoned haunted buildings. And while this place isn't particularly haunted, at least as far as I know, plenty of terrifying things have happened here. Part of the reason I want nothing more than to leave it all behind me. I slip out the duffel bag, not particularly easy with my paws trembling so much. I take my phone out of my purse, reading Chase's message again. He says he'll be waiting at the diner. When I ask if Leo will be coming along, he replies with an emoticon shaking his head, figures. I hoist up the duffel bag over my shoulder and waddle towards the door, snagging my necklace, the one Jeremy gave me, off the nightstand along the way. I put my ear to the door and listen for any sounds of my family before thinking of opening it. Usually I can tell when they're home by the shouting and screaming of Dad and Jeremy's daily arguments, but I want to be sure. Once I'm sure the coast is absolutely clear, I open the door and start walking. First out of stuffy room, then out of the hallway, then out of the house. I lock the door and put the key under the doormat, looking over my shoulder at the house where I've spent the past 17 years of my life. It's just a house to me, not a home. Hell, school feels more like a home than this place does. I expected to feel regret sitting in about now, but I can only grin like an idiot. Simply walking out that door feels like an achievement. I don't think I've ever felt this kind of rush before. I'm free. I'm not going to become another Janice working with a mindless soul-sucking job while sighing to everyone that will hear. Not listen because people in Echo never listen. But what could and should have been. I'm going to college, on the other side of the state, far away from this dusty, dried-up shithole. I'm aware of the consequences of potential problems that could await me, yet the pros outweigh the cons. I run a finger over the gemstone in the necklace and feel the pang of guilt in my stomach. Jeremy will have to deal with Mum and Dad all on his own now. And while he certainly hasn't made my life any easier, he doesn't deserve that. Nobody does. If it hadn't been for Clint, he might have turned out alright. But I made up my mind. And so I head towards the diner, struggling to keep myself upright, duffel bag in one paw, my purse in the other. And while people walking around the shifty looking bags at night isn't an uncommon sight in Echo, I stick to the shadows regardless. I try to resist the urge to look over my shoulder every 3 steps. Jeremy could be hiding in every shadow, so my mind tells me I feel like a child again. I really shouldn't have packed this much. These bags are way too heavy. After nearly tripping over several rocks, I can finally breathe a sigh of relief that familiar lights of the diner come into view. On the other side of the road stands the motel, a lone car parked in the parking lot. Even as the dot in the distance, I recognise it instantly. It's Chase's parents' car. I walk over as fast as I can on the heels. Chase is leaning against the car, his face illuminated by the light of his phone. Once he notices me walking towards him, he slides it into his pocket, with his paws still in his pocket as he walks to the edge of the parking lot. The motel's parking lot is a lot quieter and dark, but not unpleasant. It's cooled down considerably, not quite at the point where I'd be worried about catching a cold, but cool enough that to not get heat stroke after taking 10 steps. Let me handle this. He hunches over with a grunt and he lifts my duffel bag from my paws. Shit, Jas, did you fill this thing with bricks? I giggle at the sight of him folding my arms.
Just the necessities, Chase. Really, clothes, a toothbrush, something to read.
He grins. All your manga too?
Most of it, just the issues I haven't gotten around to reading yet.
Maybe I should have filled it with bricks, it would have made for a nice prank. Once we get seated, my duffel bag is in the trunk, my purse between my legs and the floor. I look out the window to the road I took to get here. I catch Chase's eye. Ready to go? There's a paw on my shoulder. It's warm, his paw pads are a little damp from sweat, but it's the most comforting thing I've felt all day. I melt under the touch just a little. I nod.
As ready as I'll ever be.
I lean forward and turn on the radio. One of Chase and Leo's song, or as Finn likes to call them, emo garbage with shitty lyrics, starts playing. Probably explains why the car reeks of Leo's cologne. While I don't particularly like the music, it's still miles better than the country music that usually plagues the local radio stations, so I leave it on. Chase wraps his fingers on the steering wheel in time with the beat. While he notices I'm looking, he quickly averts his gaze, messing with the rearview mirror instead. I chuckle. He's cute. Different brand of cute than TJ, but cute.
Where's Wolf Boy anyway? Out with the pack?
His parents needed him at the shop. He said it was urgent.
Thought his parents' place closed at 6.
He shrugs. They call him at the weirdest times. I've gotten used to it. Still, he glances at his anchor bracelet. eventually straightening it out so the tiny anchor rests on top of his wrist. It's a habit of his I've noticed ever since they went out to buy those things.
You guys okay?
He sighs. We've been better. I feel like we've got different ideas about our future, where we're going to take this thing we have once we're done with school. I've had a hunch, at least, well, less of a hunch and more noticing they weren't eating each other's faces last time I saw them.
You want to talk about it?
It's no big deal. We'll work it out eventually.
Still sounds like a big deal to me. Have you mentioned it to him?
He tilts his head back. It's not just something you can bring out of the blue, Jess.
If it's bothering you, you should bring it. You should do something about it. It'll just get worse if you don't.
I'll ask him about it when I see him. He says it with a tone of finality. The anchor drops from the top of his wrist again. We're on the road now, moving further and further away from the diner and the motel until we're just blots in the distance. If there's one good thing about Echo, I suppose it's spectacular sunsets. It reminds me of all the evenings I spent at TJ's house, sitting in the backyard with his family, just watching the sun slowly sink. Sometimes his mother would pull out a photo album and tell me about where they came from, what nature was like there. Chase looks at me from the corner of his eye. We can stop if you like. If you want to say goodbye.
I'm fine.
My response is a little snippier than I would have liked, but I make the effort to soften my voice.
You can keep driving, Chase.
Alright, I have to stop for gas when we get to Peyton though. I promised my mum I'd fill up the tank.
I don't mind. Did it not click the first time?
I didn't click the first time. I reached in her purse to grab my wallet, but he raises his paw. I'll pay, don't worry about it.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, you're going all the way out there for me.
He smiles. Seriously, don't sweat it. It's hard to do given the gravity of the situation, but it's a smile I gladly return.
Thanks, Chase.
That's what friends are for, right? I take my phone out of my purse, Dad's calling. He probably got home and noticed I wasn't there. The fur on the back of my neck prickles as I look up the screen. I'm tempted to pick up. The song playing on the radio has stopped registering. All I can hear is the buzzing. Finally, I shake my head, hit the ignore call button, thrusting the phone back into my purse, taking out a manga instead. I'm not listening to anything he has to say anymore. What was that about?
Dad called.
You haven't even been gone that long. He stops wrapping his fingers on the steering wheel and eyes me nervously. It reminds me of TJ a little when the way his fur bristles whenever something catches the lynx off guard. You think he knows? I flip through my manga, taking out the bookmark.
I don't know, and I don't really care.
I start reading. A town as dull as Echo and manga and anime have always filled the void pretty nicely. They've been an escape for me, a gateway to cultures and countries beyond this nothing town, places where I don't have to deal with my family. Strangely enough, I never got into Western comics much. Carl got me into one of those collector's edition comics for my birthday once, but I sort of gave up on it when I hadn't finished it after a year. Meant to note to get back to that one soon. Continue going a little bit. The gas station between Echo and Peyton is a perfect representation of the miserable state Echo's in. It's old and decrepit to say the least, but what little staff it has consists mostly of junkies saving for their next fix. Usually they get it from dealers that show up in the night around here. If the gas wasn't cheapest around, I doubt if they'd see any customers at all. Most people already try to avoid it whenever they can. This place gives me the creeps. Looks like it came straight out of a horror movie.
It does.
I smirk at him.
Do you think there's any spiders around?
He turns to me, an interesting mixture of fear and frustration etched in his face as his muzzle opens and closes again, like a fish trying to get some air. Don't even joke about that.
There's probably some really big ones.
I walk my fingers up his arm to the back of his neck, then pinch him.
Boo.
Jasmine! He swats my paw away with a yelp. Stop it. I laugh.
I swear TJ keeps it together better than you sometimes.
He snorts. Only because you go easy on him. He's not wrong. One time I played a chase caliber prank on TJ, spent hours crying in the room afterwards. It's the only time I'd ever seen his mother legitimately angry, a stark contrast to her usual sunny disposition. Not much scares me, but that was a frightening experience.
Hey, he's been through a lot already. I don't want to scar him for life.
He raises a brow. But I'm fair game?
Well, I get the best reactions out of you.
He sighs. Foxes. I always feel a little guilty about playing into Chase's arachnophobia for Chase's little spider problem, as my mum always calls it. But he's so damn fun to tease. My greatest moment has to be when he emptied an entire bag of those tiny rubber spiders into his backpack while he was changing for gym class. I can still remember the look on his face when he opened it to get his lunch. Priceless.
Oh, did I offend you, Shula?
He gave him a playful pat on the back. He pulls back almost instantly, like he's afraid I'll do something.
Want me to call Leo so he can kiss you all better?
Oh, you've got a bit bubbly again.
Oh, want me to call Leo so he can kiss you all better?
Exasperated look on his face is pure gold. If it wasn't so dark, I'd be filming right now. Don't, Jasmine. He starts fiddling with his bracelet again.
I think there's only hillbilly serial killers around these parts anyway. Nothing to worry about.
After getting another look through my layoff, completely satisfied. Chase gets out of the car to pump gas. I look at the window again to the convenience store. There's a few truckers here, but not much else. The place could be clean. Shame this most likely won't ever happen again, and probably hasn't since, what, the 50s? The most recent addition to the building is a poster for the Trinity Weasel movie starring Julia Blasco, which came out about 2 years ago. I think TJ was the only one who really liked that movie, come to think of it. My stomach rumbles when I notice the sandwiches set out on the counter. Aye, the clock, it's about 8 and I haven't had dinner. While I could have grabbed something at the diner, I didn't want to risk Janice seeing me and calling my parents. The sandwiches set at the gas station may not be as fresh or as tasty, but they'll have to do. I make a grab for my wallet, again catching my phone mid-buzz. Grumbling to myself, I take it out of my purse. 15 missed calls since the last one I saw, 14 from Dad and 1 from Jeremy. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, to be honest. I can only shake my head in disbelief. Not even half an hour into my little escape attempt, they're already trying to drag me back to the madhouse. As long as they didn't follow me here, I have nothing to worry about. But I can't help shake the feeling, the possibility of them just showing up or calling the police. Or 1,000 other things they'd never actually do. I don't feel like leaving the car anymore. I don't feel like that hungry anymore either. Something light will do. I tap the window to get Chase's attention, then roll it down.
Mind grabbing something from the store for me, Chase?
Of course not. What do you need? I look up for my mango when he comes back, carrying a small plastic bag with the gas station's logo on it. One for you, he says in a sing-song voice, dangling a strawberry-flavoured popsicle in front of me, which I greedily snatch from his paw. And one for me. His popsicle comes from Carl's mom's company. I'd seen it eaten them more times than I can count. Back when we were kids, Carl used to boast that we were paying for his pocket money whenever he caught us eating one. Considering Carl's mom would always give us entire bunches of them for free whenever we visited, though we never had to buy all that many ourselves.
Remembered I like strawberries? That's sweet of you, Chase.
I take a whiff of the familiar sugary, way too chemical scent. Well, if it was the only flavour left in stock, I mean, yeah, I did. Better check the expiration date, might be older than we are.
The rest of this place certainly is.
I take a little bite.
I think it's safe. I'm not dead yet, at least.
He laughs, unwrapping his own before producing 2 cans of soda from the plastic bag and handing me one. That's a relief. Eating popsicles and drinking soda in the parking lot of a rundown gas station. It sounds rather silly in my mind, but this is really happening. I take another bite.
So, have you figured out what you're going to do once you're done with high school?
He fiddles with his bracelet again. I don't know. Leo's dad said he might have a job for me, but I don't think I'd make a good mechanic. I've got 2 left paws. I think I'd just destroy any car that came into the shop.
Why don't you apply for college?
You mean the one in Pueblo? Gives me a quick sidelong glance. It's really far away, isn't it? I don't know, Jess. I can't leave Leo behind.
You've got your phone. Long-distance relationships are a thing, you know.
I crumple up the popsicle wrapper, putting it down the ashtray.
They're actually all the rage these days. I've got this friend who has a boyfriend who lives on the other side of the planet.
I turn and look at him.
You know, I think you'd be a good fit for college. Smart, motivated.
Really? I mean, I'm not all that good at anything, really. I don't know what I'd go for.
Maybe journalism or something? I mean, you were in charge of the school paper last year. You like filming and taking pictures, right? And having a degree is always good.
What are you going to major in? He finished his popsicle, tossing the stick in the plastic bag.
I'm going for psychology.
Oh, like the inner workings of the mind and stuff? He pantomimed while talking, yelping when he hits his elbow on the steering wheel. Like a go.
I suppose. Minus the bruised elbow. I want to find out what makes people do the things they do.
So what made you do the thing you're doing right now? The expression takes a turn for the serious. Why did you decide to run away? For a moment I'm speechless, all the heat drawing from my body as we look right at each other. I thought he was okay with me leaving when I told him, but now his tone is almost accusatory. Reminds me of Leo. I shudder, remembering the stink eye he'd given me when I told him I was leaving.
A lot of things.
I brushed the fur out of my eye.
And I'm sorry, Chase, but most of them are none of your business.
I'm the one driving you to your new place. I think I deserve to know what's going on. He frowns. What did they do to you? Did they hurt you or something?
None of your business.
I grit my teeth.
Can we keep driving, Chase? Please?
Jasmine, please, I want to know. If you need someone to talk to, someone who can help me and Leo, my parents, we'll do whatever it takes. You don't have to do this. You can keep living in...
Is that what this is all about?
I gesture to the soda cans, the empty popsicle wrappers at the gas station.
Are you stalling so you can convince me to stay?
Jasmine. He puts a paw on my shoulder. I know how you feel, but running away isn't...
You don't know how I feel.
I smack his paw away.
You don't know the slightest thing about my situation. You don't know what it's like to live in poverty, what it can do to people. And you don't know what it feels like when no matter how hard you try to crawl out of that hole, your family keep piling on even more dirt.
I take a deep breath, realizing I'm clenching my fists.
I want to live for myself, Chase. I want to go to college. I want to have a future. I can't do that in Echo. It's not the place for me. It never was.
It's not the place for any of us. He shrugs. But it's home, you know?
It's home for you. It's hell for me.
I put my seatbelt back on.
Adam's dead. Jeremy's huffing whatever the fuck he can get his paws on. My parents...
I cut myself off. I feel nauseous just talking about them.
My parents just keep blaming other people for their own ineptitude. Carl, his great-great-grand whatever, you, Leo, everyone's fair game. I'm sick of it.
Chase gently puts his paw on mine. This time I don't push him away. I feel drained, exhausted. I cry on his shoulder, but I don't have any energy to do that. What do they say about Carl? I mean, Leo and I aren't exactly Echo's darlings, but Carl, he's harmless.
Apparently his family is the reason we're so poor. Never mind the fact that my dad can't hold a job. Hell, he can't hold anything save for a beer bottle.
Shit, I didn't know your families had a history together.
We go way back. It's complicated.
The story I'd always been told is one of Carl's ancestors had a business partner. One of my ancestors lynched for sodomy to cover up his own crimes. My parents always conveniently left out the part where they were gay lovers, of course, but a trip to the library cleared that one up for me. Not that they cared. My breath slows, so I've stopped clenching my teeth. I'm not trembling anymore, at least, which makes drinking my soda a lot easier. Friendly Chase smiles at me. Sorry about all that, I just wanted to look out for you, you know? Everyone's been really worried.
I know, and I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. Did you tell your parents that you're helping me?
I told them I'd be taking Carl and TJ out to see the new Lions Brigade. Puts the keys back in the ignition. I've always been asking about you, though. It warms my heart a little. Chase's mom is one of the nicest people I know.
What'd she say?
Just wanted to know how you're doing, if you're eating okay, that kind of stuff. She wants you to come over for dinner sometime. He laughs. Maybe she's still hoping I go straight someday, huh? He backs out of the parking lot. When I look behind us, I see a group of employees crowding round a rather shady-looking wolf. I guess we're leaving just in time. I think think you bubbled
Do
out
your
again
parents not like that you're with Leo? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think the storm's coming in. It's actually fucking with signal. Because I'm speaking about 1 inch from the microphone and quite loudly.
Okay. My dad adores them. Mum still wants grandkids. Eventually she's been pretty supportive. She just wants me to be safe. I chuckle.
Grandkids? Can't actually picture you as a dad.
Gee, thanks. He rolls his eyes dramatically. He was sharp as a box cutter sometimes, you know that? I gave his snout a playful poke with my finger.
Just saying what's on my mind, Otter boy. Don't take it too personally.
There's a moment of silence before he speaks up again. Hey, not to change the subject, but like, won't your family be able to find you over there?
They won't. I thought of something.
What's it?
I'm gonna get my name changed when I can. Once I'm 18. It won't make it impossible to find me, but hopefully I'll keep them off my tail until I can move to Piliplo.
As long as I can remember, even before I started thinking about running away, I've wanted to change my name. Jasmine's a name, yeah, but it never felt like a name that was really my own. It's one that my parents picked for me. I've always felt like it was one of those names you usually associate with trash living under a small rural village, a citizen of Echo. It's not a name you'd expect or want to see on the front page of a magazine or research paper. Really? Huh.
Yeah, I want something a little more...
I bite my lip.
a little more me, I guess.
What kind of name are you thinking of? I've asked to consider names of actresses and singers from CEOs to scientists. Now though, I just blur out the first thing that comes to mind. How about
How
Jenna?
about Jenna?
Oh, sorry. It seems a good enough name. Jenna? He chuckles. Thought you'd go for something more ostentatious.
Well, I don't want to draw too much attention to myself. And to be fair, anything's better than Jasmine.
Definitely. It's just, well, just takes some getting used to. He stares off into the distance, an empty stretch of barren land next to the road. Jenna.
Doesn't sound half bad, right?
Hey, it's your name.
What's that supposed to mean?
Shoot me a message once you're unpacked, okay? Chase lifts the duffel bag out of the trunk with a grunt. I wobble to my feet once again as I grab it, rescued by Chase giving me a hug. I struggle to reciprocate it until I drop the bags. It's a little uncomfortable with both of our shirts stuck to the fur and I'm still being warm out, but it's not unwelcome. I nod.
Drive safe.
Really? He chuckles, pulling back. Seriously, do you see a dent in this car?
Sure, what's that you said about your bike too? Right before you fell flat on your...
That was 5 years ago. 5 years. We laughed together. It's going to be different without you around.
I'll still be around. You dip in a different town.
I chuckle.
Maybe we can go something together sometime. We could go bowling.
Sounds like fun. I'd like that. But only if you promise not to cheat again.
Hey, I beat you fair and square last time.
Of course you did, just Jen.
Fine.
I fold my arms.
I'll go easy on you.
He steps back towards the car. After a short pause, he turns around to wave. I walk up to him once again.
Wait.
I take the Pueblo University brochure out of my purse. For you.
For you.
Oh, sorry. I keep reading yours because I'm spamming through it now.
That's alright.
He looks at it for a second, dumbfounded. Summoning some of my courage and a little stupidity, I lean in and give him a peck in the cheek for good measure. If Leo were here, he'd toss me through a wall.
Thanks, Chase, for everything. You've been a great help.
He just stands there, jaw agape, glancing down the brochure before looking up at me again. I guess I'll see you around.
Bye, Otter boy.
I grab the bags again, unable to keep myself from giggling softly as he stumbles to the car door, a confused look of bewilderment still etched in his face. He clutches the brochure tightly and I catch a glimpse of him reading through it before he drives away. When he honks the horn, I do my best to wave in spite of the bag, smiling to myself while alone and Peyton in the middle of the night. Chase might be the only game Leo ever beat me at, but odds can still change. With the bags in my paws, I waddle to the old beat-up door and wait for the door to my future to open.
Oh.
Interesting. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, it fills in some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, kitty.
What do we think Lights is going to be?
I mean, it hasn't really come up with any of the other characters. Party is gonna have to be Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Phone would probably be Leo with the prank. But yeah.
And yeah, Lights would be then
That's
Flynn, maybe?
let's find out. November 2010. I looked down the cup in my hand again, trying not to make eye contact with anyone around me. Part of me wished I'd stayed home tonight, but Sarah asked me to come and I feel bad turning her down. She looked so excited when she mentioned how much effort she and the rest of her Bible group put into this party. She said that after a string of storms, the school wanted people to know that there was severe severe weather shelter in the basement of the church. At first I thought it was going to be a bland looking concrete basement. As it turns out, Peyton's old school gym is beneath the church. It's a small basketball court with bleachers that fold back against the walls and old basketball rims that are pulled towards the ceiling so that they're out of the way. Sarah and her friends strung up streamers and lights along with all sorts of other party decorations, turning the drab old gymnasium into a pretty cool party room. A disco ball hangs from the ceiling, reflecting lights over the room, while a DJ stands off to the side taking requests for which songs to play. So far, mostly 80s and 90s pop songs. A group of adults stand around the DJ, probably to make sure nothing too risque is played. Almost all of us are standing around talking or avoiding eye contact, save for a few adventurous souls dancing awkwardly next to each other. I finish off the last of my drink and decide to head back towards the punch bowl. I keep my head down, avoiding eye contact as I walk through the crowd. I reach the refreshments table and ladle more juice into my cup and sigh to myself. I really shouldn't have come tonight. My parents were out of town for the weekend. I had to ask Chase and Leo for a ride. I figured since they were already heading to Peyton tonight it would be alright, but something about their mood made me think that I've ruined their night. I told them that I'd try and find a ride home with someone else and that I'd call them if there were any changes, but they said not to bother. Chase said that they'd stick around and it's not like they had anything better to do. The way he said it made me realise it was a mistake bringing them into this. I can't take my mind off it now. I tried to make Sarah's night a little better, but ended up just ruining Chase's and Leo's. Now avoiding Sarah, and I can't help but feel I'm ruining everyone's night. I have to stop myself from thinking about it too much. I bring my cup to my lips and drink so that I'm doing something, if only for a few seconds. I end up downing all of it and close my eyes. I focus on slowing my breathing to stave off a panic attack I feel coming on. It takes a few minutes, but I finally can feel my heart rate slow and my body relax, only to be startled by a hand touching my shoulder.
Hey! Hey.
TJ again. My voice is squeaky. She smiles a little at that.
I was hoping to find you here. I was looking for you earlier, but I got caught with Jessica and Amber.
Her eyes dart around as she blushes.
Would you like to dance?
I can't help the shocked expression that I'm sure is on my face. My eyes dart to the ground. I start mumbling out an excuse before Sarah reaches for my hand and pulls me to the dance floor. The cup I'm holding slips from my hand as I lose track of myself. Everything seems to fade away as I follow Sarah onto the dance floor. She turns to me and pulls me closer and places my hand on her hip. I hope the music is loud enough to mask the gulp I make when her hand touches my hand touches her dress. Sarah is wearing an off-white sundress with a red ribbon around her waist, and I can't help but stare at how cute she looks. I feel overdressed in my outfit. My mum had laid out my clothes for me before she and Dad left. A light blue dress shirt and a tie paired with slacks. Sarah's smile snaps me out of my reminiscing as she waits for me to take the lead. I force myself out of my trance to take a tentative step right into Sarah's foot. She squeaks and pulls her foot away.
Sorry.
Sarah just giggles at me while my face burns. There's a few more missteps before we get a rhythm down, but I can't help but feel kinda good about myself. At least I still have a chance at making Sarah's night and not completely ruining it. Her smile seems to have a way of relaxing my nerves, and soon enough I'm smiling back at her. The next song's a faster tempo and we let go of each other. Sarah shakes her hips and moves her body to match the beat. I fumble, not knowing what to do with my hands, so I start to copy Sarah and hope she doesn't notice. We dance together, laughing and occasionally singing lyrics to songs we both know. Every now and then we bump into each other, which forces a few laughs out of us, although I'm suspicious that she's doing it on purpose. Before long, the tempo of the music starts to slow and we find ourselves slow dancing once again. Sarah pulls herself closer to me, and this time, until our bodies press together, pulls closer this time until our bodies press together. She looks me in the eye and smiles warmly before putting her head on my shoulder. My body tenses and I can feel her breath warm against me. I can feel her body press into me and she hugs me tighter. It feels nice. In that moment I realise just how much Sarah enjoys my friendship. I feel like she trusts me. It's been so long since I felt this comfortable around anyone. Not even Jenna and the others make me feel like this. I haven't felt safe around anyone in such a long time, even my own friends. But with Sarah, it's as if I can let my guard down. I feel like I could do no wrong to her. I gently pull her into me, returning her embrace and smile. Unfortunately, my body reacts to this in the worst way possible and my smile fades as my pants get tighter. We start to slip out of sync and I can feel her torso grind against mine. I can feel her press her hips into mine. I tense and try and pull my hips away, but I only succeed in making matters worse as the angle changes, and I can feel myself bumping into her. Sarah's hands travel down my back, coming to a rest just above my tail. My entire body is tense and I can feel myself starting to panic before the song fades out for another faster tempo. Sarah pulls her hand from my shoulder.
I love this song.
She pulls away and I feel a wave of relief wash over me, hoping she didn't notice or isn't angry about what happened. She starts to bounce and bop to the beat, and I follow her lead. She turns around and pushes her back into me. She gives me a wink over her shoulder and she dances, her body grinds against mine. She sways her body while I try and focus on dancing, but I can't keep up. I try and move along with her, but I keep moving the wrong way. I can feel my crotch grind against her body. Panicking, I take a step back and she follows me. The song seems to go on forever. Music finally changes and I can't focus on anything other than what's going on in my pants. Sarah looks at me and before I can react, kisses me on the cheek.
Thanks for dancing with me, TJ.
Even in the dim light, I can see her blushing face.
I'm gonna take a break, but I want to dance with you again when the party ends, okay?
Oh, okay. Hang on. You must do TJ. That's fine.
That's alright.
I watch as she walks away, not realising my eyes are on her hips until she disappears into the crowd. Tightness in my pants snaps me back to reality as I fumble to put my hands in my pockets, hoping to hide what's going on in there. I look around for signs to the bathroom and make my way over to the party room. Out of the party room. The exit is a long tunnel that leads to the church. The air in here is damp and cold, and I step into the hallway. I feel a wave of cold air hit me. I realise how warm I am. I'm practically panting. I groan as I realise I probably look like an idiot dancing with Sarah. My feet almost make no sound thanks to my natural padding. Actually, I tend to sneak up on people a lot. It's kind of funny when I manage to startle Jenna, though she's made the point of evening the score. The restroom is a one person at a time kind, and I lock the door behind me. As I'm going, I remember Chase and Leo were somewhere around here. Maybe I should go and chat with them. I finish up and make my way down the long empty hallway. I try looking for Leo and Chase, but it's hard to see much in here. I stand on tiptoes hoping to Leo's ears since he's so tall. Nothing. I circle around the room twice before giving up. Maybe they went outside. I make my way back to the exit and walk down the silent hallway again. This time I turn the opposite direction at the end and make my way upstairs into the church. The chapel ceiling makes the hall seem twice as large as it is. Candles sit lining rocks along the wall and few are lit, but most are not. The altar is made of marble and covered in a white cloth with gold trimmed stands in front of a big wooden cross. A wooden podium stands off to the left where the priest gave his sermon. Wooden pews fill the empty space in the hall, while a balcony for the choir overlooks the entire chapel. The church organ is on the balcony, probably so kids don't mess with it. I walk to the front door thinking that maybe they went out for some fresh air. No one there. I make my way to the parking lot to see if Leo's truck is still there. My heart sinks a little lower as I walk towards the lot, the thought of them abandoning me at the weird Christian party at the front of my mind. Luckily I spot Leo's truck sitting near the back of the lot, so at least they're still here. But that's not where they were parked when we got here. That's weird, maybe they went to get something. I head over to the truck, passing under the street lamps. The lights are dim and the lot is mostly dark, including the space Leo's truck is occupying. I assume they just got back from wherever they went and they're still here, so I make my way back towards the truck. I can start to make out someone in the driver's seat, but the passenger seat is empty. I can't quite make out who it is, but it has to be Leo, right? I could see his silhouette outlined by the back window, but something seems off, like it doesn't really look like him. I slow my pace and try and make out what I'm seeing. I stop about 30 feet from the truck and squint my eyes. Suddenly the silhouette starts to move, but not just that. It starts to morph and change and split in two. The second shadow moves to the passenger seat. I start backpedaling as the driver's side door opens and I'm about to turn and run when the headlight comes on and Leo leans out. "Hey TJ, is that you?" I stop and relax, internally chastising myself for being so skittish.
Yeah, I was looking for you and Chase. Where'd you go?
I walk more confidently towards Leo as I reach the car. Leo closes the door and rolls down the window. He looks to his right. Chase is sitting in the passenger seat. He looks a little embarrassed and is also a little annoyed. He has a jacket over his lap and his bare legs are sticking out from behind it. Leo clears his throat. Well, we just went for, Chase seems to snicker at that.
Oh, okay.
I'm still not sure what they're talking about, but I have my suspicions. I look at Chase.
So, are you going to the party?
Leo looks at Chase, who sighs heavily like he's just put down a giant weight. I don't know about that, TJ. It's kind of awkward. Not really into the whole Kool-Aid thing. Last point came across all mumbly and quiet. I flatten my ears to my head and ball my fists.
Quit acting like this is some cult, Chase.
My eyes grow wide. I realise I said that out loud. Chase rolls his eyes and makes a sound with his mouth. I know, TJ. I was just joking. I clench my fists harder.
No, you're not. You always mumble stuff like that. When all I'm trying to do is include you guys.
Chase glares at me before responding. Well, maybe it's because I'm not comfortable being in a place that thinks people like me and Leo are disgusting.
Who in there thinks you're disgusting? You know most of them. You've hung out with me and Sarah before. So who in there thinks you're disgusting?
Chase rolls his eye again and Leo seizes the opportunity to step in and raise his hands. Look, Chase, we're on TJ's behalf. At least we can go and stop in and say hi. Chase mumbles something again, but I ignore it. We'll head inside in a bit, Tej, and we'll stick around for a while, and then we'll all head home, alright? Leo's tone puts me at ease again, but I'm still uptight after what Chase said.
Listen, I'm going to go for a quick walk to get some fresh air.
Leo shoots a quick glare at Chase before turning to me. Alright, we'll be inside when you get back, alright? I nod, and because I don't want to have to say anything more, I turn and fast walk towards the road, passing under the dim lights of the parking lot as I do. I notice my lungs fill with cold air and a pressure seems to lift off my body. I wonder if that's what it's like to go through a panic attack. I'm sure it felt like one. I struggle to undo my cufflinks and notice how shaky my hands are, but I manage to undo the pins and let my wrists breathe. I loosen my tie and unbutton the first top buttons on my shirt, feeling like I can actually breathe again. I look around at the long stretch of road that runs past the church. There are some houses nearby, but the road is pretty empty except for the street lamps. One side of the road is rocky, gravel-covered hill, while the other side is flat open ground with occasional house nearby. I stand on the side of the road until the street lamp under the street lamp for a few minutes more. I don't really know why, but I take a step towards the darkness of Echo. As I walk down the road, I can feel the gravel shift into my toe pads. It tickles my feet. I force myself to smile and think about other happy little things in my life, but all I can think about is Chase and Leo. I sort of disconnected from what I'm seeing, drawing into myself and wondering why I thought it'd been a good idea to invite Chase. He's always been kind of mean, but today is even worse for some reason. He'd always been kind of okay with me and my beliefs, but I guess actually bringing him here had been too much. I stop and snap back to reality. It's completely dark and I look up and it seems I've walked past the street lights on the road. I turn around and look back towards the church. I didn't realise I'd walked this far. I can barely make it out from here. How long have I been walking? I sigh and start to head back up, pulling my hands from my pockets as I pick up the pace. I'm unnerved with how loud my footsteps are now. Each footstep is like nails on a chalkboard, causing my fur on the back of my neck to stand up. As I make it back to the closet street lamps, I check my phone to see what time it is. 9:30. I wish I'd checked before I started walking, but I figure the party should at least have an hour left. I continue walking and go put my phone in my pocket. I miss and tumble to the ground. I stop to pick it up. The fur on the back of my neck stands up again. I thought I heard footsteps after I stopped walking, but they were echoes. But something about but a few of them sounded different. But it had to be an echo, right? That's an interesting picture.
I like it though.
I stand up and look behind me, but I don't see anything. I squint my eyes looking at the blackness, but I can't make anything out. I listen for anything, and I can hear breathing, but when I try and focus on it, a steady, high-pitched ringing starts to build. The more I try and focus, the louder it gets. I try and focus on anything other than the sound, but there's nothing to hear. It's gotten so loud I don't think I'll be able to hear a jet engine at this point. I feel my lungs start to burn, and I realise the breath I hadn't realised I'd been holding. I was so focused on hearing something, anything other than the ringing, that I ignored everything else. I inhale, the night air pierced by the sound of my breath being released. I must be going crazy. I take one last look around and start heading back towards the church again. But once I step out of the light, I swear I can hear footsteps start behind me again. I focus on steadying my breath and listening for any out-of-place sounds again. I keep my head low and try and catch a glimpse of anything out of the corner of my eyes. I look ahead to see how far I am from the church and my heart sinks. I'm not even close. I look towards the house on the side of the road, but one remains between me and the church. It's still a few street lamps away. Even in the dark I can see it's a dilapidated mess, no light shine from inside it. There are trees growing all around it and overtaking what's left of the house. I consider running and hiding in there, but there's no guarantee the doors will unlock, or worse yet, that the person who's following me lives. Or that's where the person who's following me lives. Just keep walking. I can't see anyone, so it might all be in my head. Even if it's someone following me, who's to say that isn't someone from the church? That would make them a good person, right? I make it under another street light and then another. I pass another two before I make it in front of the dilapidated house. Just then I hear ragged breathing come from behind me and I spin around with a yelp. But there's no one there. A whine escapes my throat as I look into the darkness. Shouldn't I be relieved that no one's there? But I can still hear the ragged breathing. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere. I can hear it to my left, but I can't see anything. I look to my right, but I don't see anything. I spin around, looking in all directions, but I can't see anything. I turn my back towards the light pole and slowly back up. Tears fill my eyes.
Hello? Is there anyone there? This isn't funny.
I jump in surprise. My back touches the light pole. I can hear his ragged breathing coming from my right, and I'm moving to the left just outside the light. I shift on my feet and can hear his footsteps echoing in the darkness.
Hello?
That's when I see something. I think I can see him moving around in the darkness, a tall, lanky figure. He bends down and starts to walk on all fours, but what I can make out disappears into the darkness again. It can be heard pacing around me. It starts to come back close to the light pole. I turn and back myself into the middle of the shining light. I hug my arms to my chest and whimper. I don't know where it is anymore. Whatever it is. I try to listen again, but that terrible ringing pierces my ears. I feel my face scrunch up and tears run down my cheeks. I feel another whimper escape my throat and I look around in the night. I look back towards Echo and I see a car driving towards me and feel a sense of hope wash over me. I start to look down, making sure the thing isn't going to grab me out of the shadows. I start to wave down the car, but as it pulls close, the lights dim and I can see into it. My heart sinks and I back away towards the light poles. I glimpse a silhouette of horns, driver's seat, a bright red eye looking back at me. I stumble backwards away from the car. It pulls up next to me and rolls the window down.
TJ? Carl?
Carl nods in a manner that says the one and only. He pulls a cigarette out of his mouth.
What are you doing?
I let out a sigh of relief and rush forward, grabbing the door handle.
Whoa there, Tej. I gotta unlock the door first.
I fiddle with the handle and Carl tells me to stop so we can open the door. I force myself to let go and look around, afraid that something's going to jump out at me right before I can reach safety. I can smell something bad in the air now, like something hasn't bathed in months or rotting dead animal. It's closer now. I hear the door click open and I scramble for the handle again. I can hear Carl mention the door being open and I could sit in the front if I'd like, but I ignore him, too focused on getting inside the car. Yanking the door, I step back to make room for it to swing outwards. In that moment I feel a presence and my hair raises on my neck. I rush to get in the back seat as I look down for the step I swear. As I look down for the step I swear, I can see a shadowy hand reaching from under the car. I quickly jump in the back seat and slam the door shut. Carl looks back at me with a smile.
What are you doing out here, Tej? You feeling alright?
Without looking at him, I mumble something about needing a walk. I'm still too busy checking to make sure nothing is waiting outside the car watching us or trying to get in. I feel a shifting in my seat and the car starts to move. I take in a deep inward breath and let out a sigh of relief. I turn around and look back over my shoulder where I was trapped a few moments ago. I blink a few times to clear my eyes and I can blurrily see the silhouette of a lanky, misshapen person standing just outside the light, but we pulled too far away for me to make anything out clearly. I turn back and lean my head into the headrest and close my eyes, feeling them well up with tears. I jump when Carl starts talking again.
So, TJ, what the heck are you doing out here anyway? Did something happen? I needed to clear my mind, so I went for a walk. All the way out here? I was at the church.
I point to the windows of the side of the car. It would be on, but we've already passed it and into Peyton. I think about telling him what just happened, but I can't figure out how to explain it right now. Carl keeps asking me questions all the while, and I tell him about my evening, the party, Sarah, Chase and Leo. I leave out everything that happened after I left the church for reasons I can't explain. I decide to focus on the part with Chase getting on my nerves, and he just laughs it off, saying that's just how Chase and Leo are. He asks if he should drop me off back at the church, and I tell him no, almost too quickly. I don't want to go back there, I don't want to be alone. So instead I ask him if I can go over to his place for a bit. He replies with an ecstatic of course, and I message Leo and Chase to let them know. He mentions he's going to Peyton to buy a new game that's just come out. He laughs, saying he hopes I don't mind if we have to wait a bit. I mumble that it's fine as long as the place we're going to is well lit. Interesting.
Little spooky moment. I might have to head off now because I am actually starting to nod off, and I'm very frustrated at myself for doing that.
That's fine, honey. Alright, well, we still have 4 to get through for next time, so we'll do that before we do anything else.
I will send you a link to the next game in the series.
Alright.
Yeah?
Yep. Send me a link to it and we will have a look at it properly. But yes, that's the end of Jenna's route and 3 of the remaining little mini stories.
Yeah.
I will include the names of these in the description of this one.
Depends if you want to do the kid's backstory next, or if you want to do the town's backstory next. Because there's 2 main ones, or a spin-off. Because it's Route 65, Smoke Room, or Archers.
Which one would you prefer to do? Which one intrigues you most?
I'm curious about Smoke Room. I've seen a lot of people like making edits of it. And I know next to nothing about it.
Alright. Well, if you
I'm very curious about that one.
Well, as I said, if you can do a check and just make sure that it's safe for Twitch, then we will happily play it next time.
Cool. I will look into that.
Alright. Well, that will probably be Monday next week.
Yeah, I can do Monday probably after I do D&D.
Yep, that's fine.
I was meant to do it this week and then couldn't because I had PTSD.
That's totally fine, honey. These things happen.
Yep, you're telling me.
Yeah. Alright, well, that will do us for Echo this evening. Thank you everyone for watching along. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be back doing more indie horror. Got a bunch of weird and wonderful stuff left over from Halloween to still get through. Friday will be me, Tom, and Zeph possibly playing Deep Rock or playing Distrust. It depends entirely what the 2 of them are up for, and if we have a Meow About, because we have Meow About, maybe we'll play some Deep Rock. We'll wait and see. After that, I assume we're doing Sons of the Forest. I have not heard otherwise from AJ, so I'm assuming so. Then Sunday will be Dark Tide, which is our Dragon Age TTRPG, and then next Monday will be more Echo. So, or it'll be the end of Echo. We'll do the last of these 4 mini stories, and then we will do whatever the new story is.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So yeah, we'll get to that then. Let's just see if we know anyone on that we can roll into.
I have done one nighttime 12-hour shift and it is just throwing me off.
It's totally fine. I completely remember doing 12-hour nighttime shifts. I know exactly what they're like.
Yeah, I went to bed at 8:30 this morning, woke up like in the evening time and was awake for a few hours, like two hours before doing this.
Yeah.
My brain is still porridge, I'm afraid.
That's totally fine. Don't
It's
worry
going
about
to
it.
take me a while to get used to night shift.
Yeah, it does. I remember. Well, I remember when I did my training, we got randomly told we were doing night shift, and that was all the notice you got. And literally, you could be like 1 week normal shifts, next week night shifts, and you had like 3 days to get your body used to changing, like, to sleeping and
Yeah.
having 12 hours difference. And it's just like it's not easy. I know exactly what you mean
No.
by it.
No, it's not. Luckily, it will be permanent though, so it won't be flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
It's just nights now.
All right, that's good. All right. Well,
Difficult.
we will raid out then. I think we'll go raid Mr. Crimson because he's doing just a whatever stream. So we will go raid him. And we'll see how we get on. So yeah,
Cool.
until next time, folks, you all take care. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you all next time. So yeah.
Yeah, have a good one.
Till then, folks, take care. Good night.
Bye.